into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome, you beautiful people. It is your feel-good breakfast show right here on SABC3. It's Expresso.
Yeah.
What a fantastic way to start off your day and, of course, to kick off your weekend. It's Klein Vrydag, everybody.
Yes.
It's the 5th of March. I can't believe it.
I love when you say Klein Vrydag. It is. It's the
Yes.
5th of March today, a Thursday. My name is Jamie Domberg, reporting for duty alongside the beautiful Kutle Adams this morning.
Yes.
Looking gorgeous as ever.
As always,
Getting you ready
sweetie.
to go into that weekend. But, of course, we have a jam-packed show for you. It is all about baby talk today because we are talking about that also serious topic about breastfeeding. So remember, if you do have any questions regarding that, or even if you have tips and advice for moms out there, soon-to-be moms or moms going through a struggle with regards to this topic, then head on over to our social media on all platforms, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. And of course, our performance of the day is Soweto's finest right here on City. Now, we always only give you the best in entertainment to keep you entertained for this entire 3 hours long. It's going to be a jam-packed show, y'all.
Absolutely, man. Right now, though, before we get into the order of the day, let's have a look at what's happening in the world.
Thank you so much, ladies. We kick it off with good news when it comes to the safety of our women and children here in South Africa. The announcement yesterday by the government that 6 government-owned properties in the Western Cape would be made available to be used as safe havens for women and children has obviously been welcomed. Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Patricia Hill said these properties will be situated on the Garden Route, the West Coast and the Central Karoo. In 2019, more than 4,600 women were reported to have been raped in the Western Cape alone, of which 205 were aged between below the age of 9 years old. Then the UK-led Bloodhound land speed record project attempt scheduled for Huxteenpan in the Kalahari Desert in the Northern Cape could blow a flat as time is running out for funding. The Bloodhound land speed record team needs to come up with about 157 million rand to secure a world land speed record attempt next year, by no later than the end of this month. The Bloodhound, built to go beyond 1,290 kilometers an hour, was trialled in October last year. And shifting further afield on the international front, the World Health Organization has started a live Q&A session with its pandemic diseases expert, Dr. Sylvie Briant. Questions can be submitted via Twitter using the hashtag AskWHO. Coronavirus-related news at the moment is that Italy is considering closing schools and universities until mid-March. Hospitals in the UK will carry out consultations by video link to reduce the risk of infection. And the Tanzania Football Federation has banned handshakes between players. Now, while the World Bank has announced a $12 billion aid package for developing countries currently struggling with the virus. And further afield, Taliban militants killed at least 20 Afghan soldiers and police officers in a string of overnight attacks. Government officials have said, now just hours after US President Donald Trump said he had a, quote, very good chat with the group's political chief. The militants have ramped up violence against Afghan security forces in recent days, ending a partial truce put in place during the run-up to a landmark US Taliban withdrawal deal that, of course, signed in Doha this last Saturday. And now news of giant visitors returning to Cape Waters. It's time of that time of the year at least, for the southern right whales to visit Cape Waters, treating locals and tourists to a display of breaching, fluking, spouting and spy hopping. But most important, the public has been warned to keep safe distances from them, as recent occurrences of what they describe as whale muggings have become a concern. Sandpark marine biologist Alison Cox says boats and ships need to reduce speed in their presence. And the law requires, in fact, that any person maintain a distance of at least 300 meters. Southern right whales average 15 meters in length and can weigh a whopping 60 tons. Those whales migrate annually from Antarctica to the coast around Cape Town to carve their offspring. And as Alison says, always respect these incredible ocean giants, because it really is a privilege to have them on our doorstep. And now an item from the world of entertainment. We, of course, came to know her as Taburi, as she was affectionately dubbed on air, and came to welcome and love her in our cars on the way home with the Taburi Drive. Now she's bidding the station farewell after a very successful 6 years. That's right, today is Tando Tabete's last show on 5FM, as she's leaving to pursue her acting career more thoroughly. We'll have more on that a little bit later in our full entertainment report. Right now, let's delve into our sport. We start with cricket. The Proteas secured their one-day international series win against Australia after winning their second match by 6 wickets at the Mangwang Oval in Bloemfontein last night. Australia won the toss and decided to bat and posted what looked like a pretty solid 271 in their 50 overs. Opening batsman Yaneman Malan was instrumental in leading South Africa to the win, hitting 129 runs from 139 deliveries. Lungi Ngidi was again a star with the ball, equally impressive on the night, picking up a career-best 6 wickets for 58 runs. The third and final ODI between the Proteas and Australia will take place on Saturday. That kicks off at 10 a.m. Then we're in battle again with Australia. Today, the ICC Women's T20 World Cup semi-final fixture between the Proteas women and Australia will take place this morning from 10 a.m. at the Sydney Cricket Ground. South Africa topped Group B after remaining unbeaten in the pool stages. Australia has won the tournament on 4 occasions and currently are the champions. The first semi-final between England and India is currently underway. The winner will face either South Africa or Australia in that final this coming Sunday. Then on to football. Defending champions Manchester City advanced to the FA Cup quarter-finals, where they will face Newcastle United after beating Sheffield United 1-0, and Tottenham Hotspur. They crashed out of the competition after losing 3-2 in a penalty shootout to Norwich City. In the third fixture of the evening, Leicester City just edged out Birmingham 1-0. Foxes will now face Chelsea in their quarter-final draw. The quarter-finals will be played across the weekend of the 21st and 22nd of March. That's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Let's take a look at the weather.
Thank you so much, G. Happy Thursday. Happy Klein Vrydag to everyone. Now, as always, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Thank you so much to Ntokozo Makatini, who sent us this amazing sunrise from Johannesburg, where partly sunny conditions are expected with little to no wind, reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. Another regular who came through this morning was Gary Aukamp, who sent us this beautiful sunrise from East London, where times of sun and clouds are expected with a southwesterly wind, reaching a maximum of 29 degrees. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today, but let's take a look at the rest of the country. Now, if you find yourself in Polokwane today, your low is 12, peaking at 27 degrees. Umbombela, 15, 27 as well. Pretoria, for you, your low is 13 with a maximum of 30. The lowest temperature in the country, surprisingly today, can be found in Johannesburg with an all-low of 13, peaking at 28. Mahikeng, 16, 31. And then Klerksdorp, it's 15, 30. If you find yourself in Kimberley today, your low is 19 and a maximum of 32. Bloemfontein, 16, 31. Plenty of sunshine expected today for Richards Bay with a low of 19 and a maximum of 32. Pietermaritzburg, 17, 31. And then South Africa's playground, Durban, is a low of 21 and a max of 29. Mthatha, 16, 33. East London, 22, 29. And then taking a break from being the highest temperature today is Craddock with a low of 16 and a high of 36. A southwesterly wind of 20 kilometers per hour expected for UPE Port Elizabeth with a low of 20 and a high of 26. George, 16, 23. Sutherland, 14, 30. And then a southeasterly wind of 26 kilometers per hour expected for the mother city Cape Town with a low of 19 and a high of 24. So you might want to hold on to your wigs, your lashes and your mans today. And then Worcester, your low is 19 and a high of 33. Springbok, 22, 35. And then the highest temperature in the country today can be found in Uppington with an all-low of 22, peaking at 36. Whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, make sure it is a feel-good kind of day.
An absolutely feel-good kind of day indeed. Now, you know, when we are in the beauty room, we are here to give you nothing but elevated style tips and, of course, makeup tips. It's not just limited to us, actually. As you can see, G is being powdered up for the day.
Some of us need a little more panel beating than others. Now, often I'll make the mistake of not taking my makeup off before leaving studio and then wonder why people are looking at me like, well, it's a little bit too much for the daytime, right? But obviously we have an ultra-lit studio. We've got studio lights and,
yes.
and trust me, you have to powder up here. How do you approach doing the base for the guys that come on the show?
We actually just do a powder foundation. So at the end of the day, like, It is men, so we don't want to do too much, but we still need to go according to what looks nice on screen. So what we would normally do is, because it's an early morning show, you don't want to look tired.
Underneath the eye.
So like just conceal a little bit under the eyes. If we see anything that needs covering, we cover that, and then we use a powder foundation just to keep everything nice and even and matte. Yeah, matte is key when it comes to TV.
It has to be to eliminate the shine.
Yeah, no, it's my time to shine. I shine on that. Kuta, you look gorgeous this morning.
Thank you so much.
Talk me through this little, is it a paisley print little number?
Is it? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that paisley print, you got it right, but I absolutely love the dress, the fit of the dress. It's giving me gypsy vibes, you know? I love how loose fitting it is.
Quite boho, yeah.
It is boho, absolutely, and it's just comfortable, the material is perfect, and I just decided to pair it up with very neutral shoes, my brown suede shoes, just to match the look. You know the song?
That's not a real song, I'm sure.
No, but there is a song. Blue suede shoes. Blue suede shoes. I know the song.
No, but you look gorgeous, on point this morning. And of course, you can shop all the looks at Woolies online, in store, or get onto the Woolies app. It is brilliant. Thanks. It's about us.
Ooh, y'all looking fly out there in the beauty room. But of course, today is World Book Day, and that is all about our Good Morning Post today. It is World Book Day, and we would like to know, what books are you currently enjoying? Let us know. We would like to hear from you. I don't know when the last time I actually had a good book, so it would be amazing to hear your inspirations. Head on over to our social media page or our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3, and let us know what book you are currently enjoying. The last book I read was the Bible, so if that does count, then I'm out here reading a good book, y'all. Hallelujah. But right now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you in a moment.
Join the Spec Boom Challenge on Expresso Thursday, the 12th of March, and discover the pot-sized South African super tree drawing more harmful carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than any other plant in nature.
Be a part of the challenge sweeping the nation, combating climate change one spec boom at a time. Learn to plant them, cook with them, and about their health benefits.
Only on Expresso Thursday, March the 12th on SABC3. The planet is yours.
you.
Ting, ting.
Ting, ting, ay, ay, ay. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, right here to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on SABC3. When you hear that sound, you know it's time to wish you a happy, very birthday. But if you are celebrating your birthday today on the March 5th,
Yes.
then you are celebrating your birthday with none other than Eva Mendes. We all know her. She's beautiful,
Gorgeous.
beautiful Hollywood actress, and she turns 46 years old today. Now, for the past few years, she seems to have disappeared from the public eye, and that's because she stopped casting for films to focus on raising her daughters. Hello, Mama. That's amazing. But it's not like the family is struggling, because she is married to the one and only Ryan Gosling, the beautiful. But they're very known for keeping everything hush-hush. Like, you know, sometimes you have to keep things private so people can wonder. But if you are wondering, they are still happily married. And she turns 46 years old today. So if you are celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. And you are celebrating it with the Queen herself.
Absolutely, man. Now moving on to you, our loved and loyal viewers. This one, we have a video, one of those videos we absolutely love. It comes from Pam, wishing Margaret a very big happy birthday. She's turning 74. Let's check it out.
To me, happy birthday to me. Hello, Expresso. I love you all.
Hello, Margaret. We love you too.
We love you too. She's so cute, man.
Love
happy
her.
birthday to you. Now let's get on to wishing our other loyal viewers a happy birthday as well. One of them being Godfrey. Happy 51st birthday to Godfrey Abrams, 51 years young. Does look good on me. I wish you a new year with exciting possibilities. Go, Godfrey. It's your birthday. Godfrey. And then happy birthday to Brandon Peters. May God bless you more on this blessed day from Auntie Lechi and family.
Happy birthday to you. This one goes to Ma Maureen. Happy 80th birthday. We wish you all the very best for future and a great day. Love, Mary Ann. Dagalani is also celebrating her birthday today. Happy 40th birthday to Dagalani Maumela. May God bless you more. Happy birthday.
Tea pie. And then we're celebrating a 7th birthday to our precious girl, Amelia Nicole Urson. May the Lord bless and grant you the desires of your heart. Stay as sweet as you are. Oh, look at that glass. We love you so much. And this comes from your mom and dad. Look at that shades, girl. We see you. And then to Venus, wishing Venus a very happy 17th birthday. May you be blessed with many happy returns with lots of love from Auntie Roma and your loving dad and Veloshni. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. This one goes to Sheila. Happy 86th birthday to my mother, Sheila. May your day be full of love, joy, and happiness. We love you lots from Albert, Alvina, Danica, Kim, and Kelly. Happy birthday to you. It's the twins and Almarie's birthday today. I wish my beautiful three a happy birthday. May God bless them more from Mom, Sheila, and Sister Bernadine. Wait, is this the Sheila that's celebrating their birthday also today?
I don't know. That's cool. You can send yourself. That's the thing. You can wish yourself. You can even send yourself a video like Margaret if you want to do so.
Yes,
all you have to do is about a 10 to 15 second video to 071 640 6551. Or better yet, if you want to send a message of kind words of wisdom, then all you have to do is email us at birthdays@cordova.tv. But today is your special day, so happy birthday.
Clover No Lac. Lactose-free milk that lets you enjoy dairy again. Made with love by Clover.
So over the last few weeks, we've been having a lot of fun making some delicious lactose-free dishes, today being no different. In fact, you need, I'm going to say, to try today's recipe whether you're lactose intolerant or not. In fact, it does look absolutely amazing. We are talking about the ultimate chocolate chip and banana loaf, something I haven't seen in all our many recipes. We haven't seen it go this direction. In here to tell us all about it, show us how, is our Grace Stevens, my absolute favorite, because she's just voted like 5 times for the SAFTAs as we've been standing here.
Yeah, you've got to vote.
You're like up there with my mom. I love it. I absolutely love it. Gracie, this is pretty cool.
Yes.
Apart from the fact that we're going lactose free, so we're opening up the joy of the banana loaf, which is one of the coolest things ever to people who are lactose intolerant. You're spicing it up a little bit with some chocolate chips.
Oh, yes.
What a perfect combination.
This is amazing. I must say that this is very versatile loaf. You can toast it the day after.
Ooh.
You can make French
You can
toast
brioche it,
with
yeah.
it. You know, you can really go to town. But I'm going to need your muscles.
Okay.
So get
Start
squishing.
mashing.
And now here's a tip from me.
Okay.
A little bit of your brown sugar in there is just going to help to mash that.
Okay, so I might have taken a bit more brown sugar than we need to. But this, I suppose this creates a coarse granule.
It does. It just kind of gives it something to mash against, and it's quite nice and yeah. So you mash
And it lets you know that you're adding beautiful caramelized flavors in right from the beginning, which is cool.
Yeah, the brown sugar is great because it's got molasses, a little bit of molasses in it, and that's just going to make your banana loaf nice and moist and yummy. Okay, you get going there. I've got my flour in here. I'm putting my cinnamon in, some salt, my bicarb. It's self-raising flour, so I've got a little bit of baking powder in there. So, and then I'm going to leave my chocolate chips just to fold in at the end. So you've got that going. You are a pro. I need you at my house.
Now, the problem is I used to do this with bananas and just eat it like it is because I love mashed bananas so much.
Yum. An egg goes in there, some oil, and then my no-lac, my clover no-lac, a 1/4 cup of this delicious milk.
This already, it's moist. I think that's the key with the banana loaf. You don't want it to be dry. You want it to be beautiful, moist. It must have those caramel tones, but the banana really has to sing. And I love the fact with this, we are opening up a whole, like, wonderful world of what would normally be just for the dairy fans out there with our clover no-lac. Really is brilliant. It's high in nutrients, much easier to digest, obviously, especially for those that are lactose intolerant. It's been pre-treated with the enzyme lactase, in fact, to break down the lactose. So it does the job that your belly can't, and it's easier to digest than lactose for the lactose intolerant person. It really allows you to enjoy what most of us take for granted, really good baking,
absolutely,
I think.
totally.
Okay.
And that's what you want. You know, you want to be inclusive in your family, and if you've got someone who's lactose intolerant, this is just the recipe.
And that's been one of the take-homes for me with all of our discussions around lactose intolerance, how many people are affected by it. Is that enough?
Yes, so dry ingredients go into wet ingredients.
Okay,
and we're going to fold that in.
Go for it. Pop that there.
And then the last thing to do, you can have the honors. You're going to throw some chocolate chips in there. These are dark chocolate chips.
Must be.
You can chop roughly a nice bar of chocolate into here as well.
It is quite nice when you've got a
70%.
chocolate chip vibe to have those little pockets of actual chocolate that burst through. But this, for me, I'm amazed that this hasn't crossed our paths before the fact, because the chocolate banana is such a good mix.
It is. They are best mates. So it's almost like doing like one of those, remember on the bri, we used to do banana with chocolate on the bri. So this is kind of the adult version. Chuck that in.
Look at that. So you haven't been shy either.
No, we can't be shy with chocolate chips. So you just loosely, you don't want to overwork this because you don't want to overwork your gluten.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to pop it into my tin. I've sprayed my tin to make sure it's not going to stick.
Make sure it's lined, okay.
You must preheat your oven to 180 degrees, and this goes in for about 50, 60 minutes.
Okay. How would you tell when a banana loaf is ready? Is it the same test of sticking a skewer and see if anything catches? Okay.
But you've got to be careful. Banana loaf is a bit tricky because you've got all those pieces of banana in there, and you might hit a piece of banana. So you've got to give the sponge test. So you've got to push on it, the top, and it should sponge back. If you push on it and it stays down, then you know there's a little bit uncooked.
It's still a little too soft. Okay, amazing. And how long in the oven again?
50 to 60 minutes, just until it's done. And you can see it comes out quite dark because you've got some molasses in there, and you've got the bananas. It really is going to caramelize on top,
yeah.
So it will be quite dark. So wait until it gets quite dark so that you know that it's done.
And then just imagine your house filled with the scents of banana loaf. There is nothing better. And the key word here is clover. SMS clover to 33728. We'll send you this really simple ingredients list, and you can get baking yourself. But let's see how we arrive at this amazing chocolate chip banana loaf. Oof. Okay. Well done.
Made with love by Clover.
And it is lactose-free, thanks to our no-lac, absolutely ingenious. And as you can see here with the end result, it comes out exactly the same. So don't skimp on the pleasure if you have to take out the dairy. Clover no-lac really is, it's just wonderful. It's changed the game, I think. Just quickly run it through again. What uses can you find for a chocolate banana loaf like this?
Oh, it's great with coffee. Lovely breakfast food.
Yes.
Make it to make a sandwich to send to school.
Yes.
Lunch boxes. Lovely for French toast the day after. Lovely toasted in the toaster the day after.
Lashings of
oh yes,
jam.
This one's got lovely honey. I've just drizzled lots of honey over it.
Because it needs to be sweeter.
It's actually quite a nice dessert sort of thing with a little bit of scoop of ice cream as well.
Oh my word, it's a cake. Is it a cake? Is it a dessert? Is it a bread? Nobody knows. It's just absolutely amazing. It's our chocolate chip banana loaf made with love by Gracie this morning.
Don't forget to vote.
Clover no-lac. Lactose-free milk that lets you enjoy dairy again. Made with love by Clover.
Must be nice.
So great.
Good way to start the morning.
Absolutely. Chocolate chip banana loaf.
Are we getting some?
Yes.
Are we?
G is
there we go.
literally making his way.
Are you sure?
First of all, thanks for putting that little earworm in my head, dude.
What song is it?
The theme tune for
It's actually one of the catchiest things I've ever heard, but well done.
Thank
the
you.
launch, dude.
How was the
It was a
launch?
great
It looks
success.
amazing, man.
Fantastic. I mean, we trained at #1 in the country.
I saw, actually. I was just like, woo,
Pretty well. Thank you very much to you, South Africa, for enjoying and tuning in, and do so now for the next 13 weeks, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. on SABC3 to catch Tropical Islander Pleasure Curacao.
It repeats on Saturdays
Saturday
at 8 o'clock.
8
p.m.
Because
Yeah.
I was in and out. You don't want. It's one of those things where you don't want to miss the drama. You don't want to even miss what people like Nadia Jafta falling on a chair. You don't even in a thing. You want to watch. You want to watch every single thing. So guys, please.
Exactly.
And I don't know if either of you, I won't ask you live on air if you are lactose intolerant, but this is lactose free, baby, thanks to our Clover no-lac. It's moist and it's got chocolate chips in it. The keyword is Clover to 33728 if you too would like to create this amazing lactose-free chocolate chip banana. We went for the dark chocolate, so it's not overly poweringly sweet, if that's a word.
And also the choc chip was just like, what?
Special, huh? Special.
Good times. Thank
You
you.
earned it, man.
Thank you,
earned it.
G.
Only you can make my day.
Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Mic. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is my 1. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Handle 1. Test, test, test. This is where mic 1, handle 1, test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Set. So try and speak, come on. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Handle 2. Test, test, test. Here we go.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Thursday. Manning, great to be in your company, and thank you very much for joining us. And right now, it's time for us to journey into the space of the gaming guru, Gareth Woods, who takes us through the colourful galaxies of the Outer Worlds video game, which is also nominated as Game of the Year for 2019.
If you're on the hunt for a zany and out-of-this-world game to play, then Gareth Woods and I have got you covered with this week's review of The Outer Worlds. Gareth, The Outer Worlds, what is this game all about?
So without ruining too much of the story, because it's a big part of the game, you're essentially this kind of lone soldier who is kind of crash landed on another planet. But in the meantime, there's all sorts of, kind of conspiracies going on and big corporations being involved. And yeah, it's a really cool story. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, and it does kind of push you along to keep playing. But at the same time, because it's a role-playing game, you can play things your own style. So from the way you develop your character to the kind of people, your partners that you have on your team along with you, changes the way the game plays. You also make these very kind of big, momentous decisions in the game, which then impact later on who likes you, who doesn't like you, which factions you can play with, or who become enemies based on decisions you make.
How would you describe the gameplay?
So it's a role-playing game, so you obviously play the role of a particular character, which you develop in kind of your own style. But if I show you on screen some of the kind of the features of the game, as you can see over here. I mean, as you can see, the graphics are great. It's essentially a first-person shooter, so it involves guns and we can go through our different weapons. But at the same time, as I said, you're out there collecting loot, so you've got different perks and stuff you're picking up. You've got your journal, which is tracking all your missions. You can open up the map and see all the different places you can go and fast travel to. You've got your companion, which you can also load up with weapons. You can make her stronger as well. And then your character itself, you can, as you level up, put new kind of points into different things. So, for example, strength, dexterity, all of that. And as you put more points into it, you kind of obviously get stronger. So if you put points into range, you suddenly get better at weapons. Dialogue, you become more persuasive. So being able to win arguments without having to resort to violence. And as you level up, you can put more points into different perks. So that allows the game to play in certain different ways. You can definitely manipulate the game in terms of your own play style, which is really cool and something, a mark of most good RPGs, is that it's not a kind of linear game. You can play it however you want to.
Okay. Who's it for? Who can play this game?
First and foremost, if you're an RPG fan, a role-playing game fan, you'll probably enjoy it. If you're a fan of franchises like Fallout, it's very similar in that vein. Kind of other world, got a really good sense of humor. In terms of the gameplay itself, kind of a first-person shooter kind of mechanic. In terms of if you like kind of very story-driven games, you'll probably enjoy it as well.
And lastly, your verdict, how much are we giving it out of 10?
So these sort of games have a soft spot in my heart, kind of role-playing games, especially ones that kind of come out of nowhere. So you've always got your AAA titles everyone knows about for months in advance. This really came out of nowhere, got a Game of the Year award nomination. And yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed the story, the gameplay, the character voice acting is really great. I'm going to go out and give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow, a 9 out of 10. That's a very high rating, as you've heard from our resident gaming guru, Gareth Woods himself. If you're an RPG fan looking for a game set in a far, far away world with a stash of humor, definitely check out The Outer Worlds.
From the outer worlds to the inner space that is bubbling with excitement at the moment, guys. Yeah, it's going to get crazy, man.
Tell them why.
It's been an amazing week, and it's going to round off in fine style. Tomorrow is a big day. We need you to set your alarms. You should already have them set every day, but start watching from 6 a.m. on the dots.
Yeah, it's no secret, of course. We all know it's Samsung Galaxy's, or the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, the hottest phone on the market right now. And come tomorrow morning, Team Samsung will be joining us for a full show of showing off this amazing phone. But of course, in true Samsung style, they're giving you the chance to actually win one.
It's insane, guys. You don't understand. There was such a long waiting list to get their hands on this phone. And just when you think that's it, it's not. In fact, if you're already owning a Samsung S20, then you stand a chance of winning a brand new 65-inch QLED Samsung TV valued at 45,000 Rand. I would suggest go buy the S20 Ultra now. Go buy it so you can put yourself in line to win a brand new TV, and not just a TV. That is insane.
Next level. So if you have an S20 or you want to own an S20, then you are guaranteed to win regardless, of course. So please don't tell us we didn't warn you, because we're warning you right now. As Graham said earlier, set your alarms. Make sure that you watch the whole show tomorrow to find out how you can stand a chance of winning with our friends at Samsung. It's going to be an exciting show.
Honestly, being able to give away stuff like that, and like I said, like we are giving it away, but being able to work with partners like Samsung to be able to do those sorts of things, not lost on us how cool that really is. So get on it. Wake up early, get on it, or in fact, go and buy yourself an S20 today so you can win that TV. Wow.
I have so much FOMO. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but listen, whoever wins, just send me like a screenshot with the S20 and see who won it, because I'm really rooting for whoever wins it.
Congratulate them, right?
Yeah, I'm not here tomorrow. You were not here yesterday. Where were you, Mama?
I went to enjoy my birthday.
Oh, yes! That's exactly how you do it, Sis Princess. How old are you now? How old are you now?
How old are you now? You don't want to tell us? It's fine.
No.
It's fine. That's what I tell us. But it's okay. We have a special performance just for you because you weren't here yesterday. So Soweto's finest is in studio today, and they're going to be giving you a little peek a little bit later on. But of course, we ask you if you have any questions for them, any love, and people have been coming through on the socials. One of them being Caroline Body saying, "This are my kings of dance. Love you guys, flames, flames, flames," and that lady, that one.
That dancing lady.
Yes.
This one comes from Unombulelo Zandile Gama. She says, "I can't wait. Viewers will be blown away. These guys can dance their hearts out. In love face, I'm seeing fire, I'm seeing dance, I'm seeing heart." People are extremely excited this morning.
There was one more comment that came through that came from Sian on her, says, "Yo," like in your voice, because you always say that, "Yo." Can't wait, you guys. We can't wait it's going to be
So Soweto's finest is in the house today.
So you better stay on your Feel Good Breakfast show right now, because we're going to see you a bit later on.
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McCafe. Great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
Find yourself daydreaming of fairy tale lands, paradise beaches, and glamorous cities? With a sprinkle of magic, Travel Start is making your travel dreams come true. Their Dream Week sale is finally here. Get ready to mark your calendar from the 2nd to the 6th of March 2020 and sign up for great savings to mega cities. Chase those pinch me moments with travelstart.co.za.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, as we celebrate Water Month, Thando Tladi joins us in studio this morning to chat about Woolworths and the My School, My Village, My Planet program passion for conserving water. Now, many schools throughout South Africa don't have sustainable access to water. And together with My School, Woolworths launched the Woolies Water Fund to help address this issue. And with a primary goal to raise funds so that they can provide sustainable sources of water by installing rainwater tanks at under-resourced schools, especially in areas areas affected by the drought and help to educate learners about the importance of conserving water through the Woolworths Education Program. So a lot of work has gone into this wonderful program, and it's great to have you here with us, Thando. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. So the Woolies Water Fund, take us back to when the idea came about, how it was started, and what the initial goal and purpose of it was.
Right, so we've been on a journey to conserve water for over 12 years as part of our good business journey. And I think with climate change at the time and the effect it was having on the region and the threat of day zero, it became evident that one of the negative effects would have been that teaching and learning could not happen in the school. And with the work that we do on the Woolworths Educational Program, we felt it was our responsibility to do something and to ramp up our efforts and make sure that we were contributing positively. So in effect, we started the fund with the goal of raising money to put rainwater harvesting systems into schools, and particularly under-resourced schools that were the most severely affected at the time.
So March 2018 is when the big mission started.
Correct,
what has been successfully implemented thus far?
We've done 31 schools in 4 regions. We've given 10,000-litre water tanks. We've fixed boreholes, put in wash basins, filtration systems, pumps, and a whole lot of other work has gone in. Obviously, each case is different, post an assessment, but this goes a long way in helping the schools in their food preparation, hygiene and sanitation, and just making sure that they are not subjected to not being able to learn should there be a threat of a drought in the future.
Providing the bare necessities that are, I think, every human being. Right. So what about future projects that you'll be implementing with the Woolies Water Fund?
We intend to keep rolling out more tanks. We're working closely with the Department of Education to just make sure that we are getting into the right regions and getting to the right schools. We want to, if we could, give every school in South Africa access to water, but we are rolling out and we'll continue to do so over the next few years.
And talking about working alongside the Department of Education, a very important, I think, collaboration to ensure the success of the project and also its kind of purpose into the future going in and introducing water conservation as part of the curriculum. Tell me about that.
So we developed content in partnership with the department, and that was to teach learners that water does not come from the tap in essence.
As silly as that may sound, but that is a perception that needs to be changed.
It certainly is. It was really, the content is designed to heighten their awareness and make them aware of just how much water they are using at home and at school, what they can do to conserve water, and of course, just getting them to understand that they need to take steps today to conserve water. And hopefully, these are habits that these lessons they learn will turn into habits as they transcend into adulthood.
Now, as viewers out there, as Woolworths customers, how can we help the efforts of the Woolies Water Fund?
We're very grateful to the supporters that have helped us so far. However, if there are those who are wanting to get involved, all you have to do is download the My School app. You can go into store as well and apply for a My School card. You can also link your existing store card as well to the My School program, as well as you could also SMS 31232, and a call center agent will be in contact with you to help you get loaded as a supporter.
Excellent stuff. So there's many ways in which you can help the wonderful work. And thank you, Thando, for always bringing us good news, inspiring news. Whenever I see you, I always feel inspired.
Thank you.
And we thank you and the My School team as well. So if you already are a My School, My Village, My Planet supporter, you can help by supporting the Woolies Water Fund by making it one of your beneficiaries, and it won't cost you a single cent. Then every time that you shop or swipe your card, a percentage of what you spend will be given to the fund on your behalf. And if you have any Woolies cards, as you heard now, you can link it to My School via the mobile app, or you can call 0860 100 445 or email cs@myschool.co.za. And if you don't have a Woolies or My School card, then apply for one for free on the My School app. And of course, you can do so in store as well and by SMSing 31231. Standard SMS rates do apply. Thando, one more time, thank you very much.
Thank you.
When our kids are involved, you've got to do it. So get onto that and do it right now. Now, some rather exciting news. Kat and myself are going to be engaging in something that has never happened on this show before. We have been challenged by Vitathion to go head-to-head in the Vitathion adventure race to finally settle who is the fittest, who is the strongest, who has the toughest mentality of them all. You can get all of the excitement live on Expresso on the 6th of April I'll be coming off my paternity leave for this challenger. And who am I challenging in this ultimate of adventure races?
The one.
The one.
The only.
The only.
Mr. Rich, clearly you're off your game.
I was going to ask you, how are you preparing? Are you doing that to restrict the blood flow in your brain?
I carry my sweatband with me wherever I go. I just drop down.
Impromptu workouts.
Here. Huh?
Sure,
where you at, man? Look at that. Mike's all over the place.
Are you up for this, dude? You better be. Are you strong enough? Who's got the strongest mental game? I don't know.
idea what you're letting yourself in for, buddy.
It's going to be strong. It's going to be tough. I'm waiting for the close-up. There, the close-up. You got it. Here we go. For 3 hours, that's all we're going to do on the 6th of... No, we actually are going to engage in the biggest, most insane adventure race. Are you up for it, dude?
I'm ready.
You better be, because I'm bringing it, eh?
I've been doing what...
I'm going to be like...
Yeah.
I'm going to be spinning. I'm even going to be spinning in preparation for this. I'm going to be doing these.
No, that's warm-up stuff. I'm on.
It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be rough. And you too can show us your training, your progression. You can join the journey if you feel like you are up for it. Ooh, look at that, eh? Wow.
It's crazy.
The adventure race will be going down live on this show. We'll be doing live updates on the 6th of April. You don't want to miss it, man.
Good luck to you.
But good luck. No, good luck. Good luck.
Ready for this? Ready to see who's the toughest, the fastest, the strongest? Well, this is no walk in the park. Train! Come on, cats, you're on a roll. Keep going, keep going. So you think you got what it takes to beat Katlego? When I said I was training new TV personalities, all you figured you had to do was try? But I thought... You thought what, kitty cat? You can catch these two go head-to-head April 6th on Expresso in the Vitathine Adventure Race, where the men are separated from the boys. Come on, kitty cat, give me one more!
We've said it before and we'll say it again, but Samsung have won 2020. And come this Friday, the 6th of March, right here on Expresso, the Samsung team will join us to showcase the brand new, super sexy S20 Ultra smartphone. And with the most advanced camera zoom yet, you won't want to miss it. And get this, they're giving you the chance to win one. So don't say we didn't warn you.
Introducing Galaxy S20 Ultra.
Never met someone with a heart like this.
He embodies what it means to be selfless.
Even when I was in a state of panic, she saw me through bravery.
Often the bravest people don't see themselves as others do. Join us in celebrating these brave heroes. Nominate the pharmacists and healthcare professionals in your community making a real difference and stand a chance to win 5,000 Rand.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, welcome back. This is a Thursday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Listen, lots of excitement mounting up right now in the studio. Soweto's finest, established in 2006 with the idea to take dance to a whole new level. And they went from kasi to kasi within Soweto to take part in various dance battles against the highest ranked crews. And so I guess the name Soweto's finest should really easily indicate who the winner was.
Yes.
So 14 years later, the group has now grown to 4 members, namely Thomas Tom London Gumede, Njabulos Piti Piti Mahlaba, Monde Samson Cakes Ngqina, and Kulileko DJ Bash Nyembe. And we welcome them to our Feel Good Breakfast show. Put your hands together for Soweto's finest! Here they come, here they come. My friends, welcome, welcome. Very good morning. There we go, there we go. High fives, all right. Even virtual high fives. Have a seat, have a seat. I think before we even get anywhere with this actual interview, I've got to know about the middle names or the nicknames. How they came about. How did you go from one day from your normal name to now being known as Piti Pete or Tom London? Let's start, Thomas, because your name came up first. Thomas Tom London Kumet.
Okay, so for me, my older brother's name is Domi. So in Pretoria, they used to say Domi London, Mfana London. So they ended up calling me Mfana London. So, and then I was also the first dancer in Soweto to go, like for a street dancer to go to London. On
okay, all right.
So then I just kind of London, Domi, as like put it together, Tom London.
Yes. I love that story behind it. Spitty Piti Kuluma.
I was that guy at home, family gatherings at home. I was that guy, always busy on the tables, on the couches, in the kitchen.
Oh, you were the one to entertain the guests?
Everywhere, I was that guy.
What about Samson Cakes?
Let's just say, Kanda, my cake.
My cake.
All right, leave it at that. DJ Bash.
It's all about music. It's all about music. Yeah. It's because of that.
Yeah.
Then from there, then I go to become a DJ. Basically.
Yeah.
So
all
it's
right.
that.
I love the story behind the names, but now we need the story behind the dancers and the group. So it was finest. Now we know that being upcoming artists, it was very difficult for you guys going to gigs for free. Sometimes you wouldn't even afford, just getting there. What kept you guys going? What kept you motivated to not give up?
I think I was talking about this situation, I think 2 days back. I'm like, it was very difficult, because me and him, we don't have parents.
I don't have a dad.
Yeah, he doesn't have a dad. He's the only one who's lucky, enough to have that. So it was very difficult. I mean, we didn't have financial strength.
Yes.
We were not supported also because we're in Soweto. Where do you think, where are you taking this? I mean, you can't take dancing as a career. So, going to bed without food, not knowing how we're going to get to our next gig. I think the main thing that actually kept us going was passion. I think without passion, if we were doing it for the girls or for the fame, we would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
And a passion that came full circle in 2010 when you got your
that was our first pay, actually.
Oh, yeah?
That was your first pay?
Yeah, we started in 2006, right? 7, 8, 9, 10 pro bono work. 2010, that was our first pay when we did the closing ceremony
for the FIFA World Cup
with Somizi Mhlongo.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Crazy, isn't it? We didn't even have bank accounts. We didn't know what that was.
Where did we pay?
How does it
it's on my hand.
So how did that opportunity come about?
With Somizi?
Yeah.
I think it was just putting in the work, right?
Yeah. Because also he had heard about us. That, there's these dancers in Soweto who are doing the thing.
Yeah.
This, that, and the third. Next thing we knew, we got a call, came through to check us out at a rehearsal. Next thing, we on the picture.
And the funny part, I remember when we were told about it, Berati, when he was actually searching for me, describing me, tough. You know how extra
That sounds
Somizi
exactly
is.
like what some guy always say. But then shortly afterwards, you guys got the chance to fly to Paris, right?
Yeah.
Wow. When they talk about Carpe Diem.
Yeah, seizing the moment.
That's how we got our break internationally.
Wow, man.
I remember we were sleeping at home. We got a call from a lady we had worked with, Umemela, who's from Cape Town. She was in Joburg, and she's like, yo, there's this workshop happening at the Soweto Theatre, international directors, this, that, but they're leaving today. It's the last day. We were sleeping, like, so then let them leave. And she was like, no, guys,
come.
If you can, come through, bring your work, bring your laptop, let them see what you guys do. Proudly South African, could change your lives. And then We had to wake up, take a bath. We went there, showed them the work. A few months later, we were in contact. The next year, for the next 4 years, we were selling out shows overseas.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Imagine had you continued sleeping.
You know what I mean? And bear in mind, we did this.
100%.
We did this before, you know, your black coffee started like touring internationally and so forth. But obviously, because we were dancers, we didn't get
that kind of recognition.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man. What was it like being in Paris? Talk to us about that experience.
Yeah, for me it was a very amazing experience because like I'd recently just joined.
Yeah.
So I joined 2013.
Oh,
so for me that experience, and I'm one person that I never took what I have seriously.
Yeah.
So when we got that side and felt the appreciation that they had for us, I was like, clearly I was born for this.
Wow.
It was crazy. We had people crying there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The front row.
I mean, you have branched into music and you've released a song called Utikolosh, which is currently sitting on 280,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah. That's gonna be the
in 3
biggest
weeks.
song this year, hey? I promise.
What? How did that song come about? Also, why Utikolosh, guys?
I mean, you're bringing up nightmares for some people. And they tell them how.
Utikolosh. Utikolosh is a boogeyman, right?
But exactly. It's nightmares.
The short guy that's shorter than him. But anyway, so there's this guy called UKG. He used to be in our crew like how many years back? A few years back. You know, so we had a hectic, bad fallout. We hadn't spoken in like years. And so we dropped an EP last year, titled like Velek Pujo EP. Yeah, it was cool, you know. And then when he dropped Kokota, which was one of the biggest songs last year.
I
Kokota, Piano, yeah. I liked that song, but I wasn't sure if he was a one-hit, one-down. You know what I mean? So I was like, let's wait and see. And then he dropped Isabel after that. And then immediately I was like, this boy is talented, you know what I mean? And also we had lost our relationship, but I mean, I think we've grown up. It's time we reunite again to create something better.
Yeah.
And then we got into the studio, and then this major hit that we're sitting on now came out.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Yeah, KG and Bizizi, that's the people that we're featuring on the song.
Congratulations on that. You've also opened up a studio recently.
Oh, yes, a dance studio.
Southgate Mall.
Yes. Newtown. We had Newtown now.
All right. Tell us about that, what it is that you're doing there, how people can get involved, and obviously, glean a little bit of the inspiration of what you guys do.
So the dance studio, it's Soweto's finest fitness dance studio.
Oh,
yeah. So basically what we thought of opening a dance studio, but it's a normal thing, you know? It's not a normal thing for a group to own a dance studio. We're actually the first to do that.
Oh, wow.
But we felt that, why not keep people fit through dancing? And I mean, a lot of people feel like running on the treadmill, lifting up weights is a bit monotonous in regards to keeping fit. And people love dance in South Africa. We've all noticed that, you know what I mean? So we felt like, why not merge the both? Keep people fit through dance.
Yeah.
The Soweto's finest fitness dance studio, and keep people through, while we're keeping people fit through dance, teach them how to dance too. So if you can't, dance, you can come to Soweto's finest dance studio to find your rhythm. It's open from Monday until Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. So basically it's like a 9 to 5 for us.
Yeah.
During the week.
Yeah.
During the week, so you can come in anytime, to keep fit.
After work, after work.
Just kind of like let it loose.
David order.
Learn how to do a proper pouncing cat while you shape your triceps.
That's what I mean. So we're hoping that one day it'll be big enough to compete with the likes of Vision Active.
Franchise it all over the country.
Trust me, yeah.
Wow, man.
We should take it out, actually. I would love to go check it out.
Please.
Yeah.
How about
support us. That would
be
dope.
Man, wow, since 2006, like you were saying, and now here you are. A huge success. We wish you all of the best going forward, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you so much.
Soweto's finest right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, man, absolutely love it. Thanks, gents, for stopping by. Best part, we're going to see them perform in just a moment, so you want to stick around for that. Now, I mean, if you're going to go to the Nedbank Cup quarterfinals, why not do it in VVIP style? That's the opportunity you have. If football is your game, luxury is your style, then you could be making these coveted VIP tickets all yours, but you've got to follow these 3 easy steps. This is how you do it. So if you are a Nedbank card holder or even a non-Nedbanker, you can open a free mobile money account, which is so useful. All you do is you dial *120 *002#, and you follow the really simple prompts. It's very quick, very easy, and that My Money account you can use for so many different reasons. Really is cool. Once you've opened the account, make one transaction on it. It can be something as simple as just buying airtime or maybe sending money, and you can send money to someone's phone even if they don't have a bank account with the My Money account. That's how brilliant it is. And then once you have done that, SMS the keyword Nedbank to 33728. So those are the 3 easy steps. And then when you've done that, just cross those lucky little fingers and hope that we are sending you our VIP double tickets to go to the Nedbank Cup quarterfinals. There are 4, obviously, quarterfinal matches with 4 sets of VIP tickets to be given away, but it's going to happen on a first-come, first-serve basis. You need to get on it right now. The competition is going to close on 12 p.m. on Monday the 9th at 12 p.m. midday. So you don't have a huge amount of time, so you really want to get onto it right now. It's going to cost you $1.50, but you can find all the terms and conditions that do apply on expressoshow.com. Right now, though, it is almost the top of the hour. Time to get back into the news headlines.
A minute before 7 o'clock, let's delve into those news headlines, starting off with our national news. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala says despite the country's sluggish economy, the province has managed to attract investments and create jobs. Zikalala yesterday delivered his State of the Province's address in Pietermaritzburg. He said despite unemployment figures that show 29.1% of working-age people remaining jobless, KZN reflected employment growth with a net gain of 39,000 jobs. Zikalala also announced that the province would be opening a new state-of-the-art 2.8 billion rand hospital in this financial year. The announcement yesterday by the government that 6 government-owned properties in the Western Cape would be made available to be used as safe havens for women and children has been welcome. Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Patricia de Lille said these properties will be situated on the Garden Route, the West Coast and the Central Karoo. In 2019, more than 4,600 women were reported to have been raped in the Western Cape, of which 205 were aged up to 9 years old. And now moving further abroad with the international news, Saudi Arabia yesterday suspended the year-round Umrah pilgrimage to the holy cities of Mecca and Medina over coronavirus fears, the Interior Ministry said yesterday. The Gulf state has decided to, quote, suspend Umrah temporarily for citizens and residents in the kingdom. The ministry said in a statement carried by the official Saudi press agency, the decision comes after Saudi Arabia last week suspended visas for the pilgrimage and barred citizens from the Six-Nation Gulf Cooperation Council from entering 2 of Islam's holiest cities. The World Health Organization has started a live Q&A session with its pandemic diseases expert, Dr. Sylvie Bryant. Now, questions can be submitted via Twitter using the hashtag AskWHO. Coronavirus-related news is that Italy is considering closing schools and universities until mid-March. Hospitals in the UK will carry out consultations by video link to reduce the risk of infection, and the Tanzania Football Federation has banned handshakes between players, and the World Bank has also announced a $12 billion aid package for developing countries struggling with the virus. And now news of farmers acting in the true spirit of Ubuntu. Now, in the true spirit of Ubuntu, generous farmers from the Wienans Farmers Association in KZN have reached out to fellow farmers at Statelerville in the Eastern Cape, by donating 1,200 bales of lucerne to the drought-afflicted area. Shane Reynolds, a Wienan farmer and chairperson of the Wienan Farmers Association, says after all the good rains that they have had, some farmers had a surplus of lucerne and decided to donate it to the farmers in the Statelerville area. The transport of the lucerne was also generously provided at below cost by Winberg Transport and by Agri-SA through funds raised from the Agri-SA Drought Disaster Fund. Statelerville farmers were overwhelmed by this compassion and generosity and said without such help, their lasting power would have been exhausted long ago. Now, taking a glimpse into the world of entertainment, our own Queen Bee Bonang Mateba does not cease to amaze as she has proven that she has upgraded from being Mochiel to being a mogul. She, along with 3 other female movers and shakers from across the African continent, is gracing the March cover of Forbes Africa magazine as she has been listed as one of 50 of the continent's most powerful women. We'll delve a little bit more on that in our full entertainment report a little later on. But right now, let's take a look at the world of sports.
Let's start with the good news. First, the Proteas secured the one-day international series against Australia after winning their second match by 6 wickets at the Mangwang Oval in Bloemfontein last night. Australia won the toss and decided to bat first, posting 271. Looked like a difficult ask in their 50 overs, but opening batsman Yanuman Malan was instrumental in leading South Africa to the win, hitting 129 runs unbeaten off his 139 deliveries. Then Lungi Ngidi was the star with the ball, yet again equally impressive on the night, picking up a career best 6 wickets for 58 runs. The third and final ODI, albeit a dead rubber fixture between the Proteas and Australia, will take place on Saturday from 10 a.m. Staying with cricket, the ICC Women's T20 World Cup semi-final fixture, of course, between the Proteas women and Australia will take place this morning, kicking off at 10 a.m. and that's at the famed Sydney Cricket Ground. South Africa topped Group B. That was after remaining unbeaten in the pool stages. Australia has now won the tournament on 4 occasions and, of course, are the current champions. So it's a mountain to climb, but the first semi-final between England and India is currently underway. That winner will face either South Africa or Australia in the final on Sunday. On to football. Defending champions Manchester City advanced to the FA Cup quarter-finals, where they will face Newcastle United after beating Sheffield United 1-0, and Tottenham Hotspur crashed out of the competition after losing 3-2 in a penalty shootout to Norwich City. The third fixture of the evening, Leicester City, they edged out Birmingham City 1-0. So the Foxes will now face Chelsea in their quarter-final matchup. The quarter-finals will be played across the weekend of the 21st and the 22nd of March. That's where we leave our headlines for now. Let's catch up with the activity on the roads.
Time to have the first look at what's happening on the roads. Starting off in Gauteng, Pretoria. On the N1 southbound, there has been an accident after Regal Avenue obstructing the middle lane. Please approach this area with caution. And down to the Western Cape in Mitchell's Plain, there is protest action on the R300 between the M7 highway and AZ Berman. Heavy delays are expected in both directions. Please use an alternative route this morning. And lastly, Metro Rail Northern Line, there is an extended travel time of approximately 60 minutes on the Strand Muldersvlei line due to current infrastructure conditions and sets out of service. That's your 7 o'clock traffic roundup. Right now, let's have a look at the weather. We've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Fatha Khan sent us the spectacular one from Richards Bay, where plenty of sunshine is expected with clear skies and a southwesterly wind providing relief from the heat, reaching a maximum of 32 degrees. This one comes from Nancy Governor. She sent us the stunning sunrise picture from Umkomaas, where sunny conditions are expected with pleasant temperatures reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. We love seeing those pictures, so please keep them going. Keep them flowing on our social media platforms using the hashtag Expresso Show. Now for the temperatures for the rest of the country, starting off in Polokwane with the minimum of 12 degrees reaching a maximum of 27. High humidity from Bombela at 15, peaking at 27 degrees. It's a partly cloudy day in Pretoria, which peaks at 30 degrees with a low of 13. And the coolest start to the morning starts off in Johannesburg with a low of 13, reaching a high of 28. Mahikeng, 16:31 are your temperatures for the day. A partly cloudy day in Klerksdorp with a minimum temperature of 15 and a maximum of 30. Kimberley, 19:32, and plenty of sunshine for Bloemfontein at a maximum temperature of 31 degrees and a low of 16. Richards Bay, your highest temperature for the day is 32 with a low of 19. It's a sunny day in Richards Bay, and clear skies for Pietermaritzburg with a low of 17, reaching a high of 31. So far, it seems like it's going to be a very warm day in South Africa today. It's a sunny one also in Durban with a maximum of 29 and a minimum of 21. Now down to the Eastern Cape, Siqala Mthatha with a minimum of 16 degrees, reaching a maximum of 33. Southwesterly wind of 20 kilometers an hour in East London with temperatures ranging from 22, reaching a high of 29. Sunny day in Kredok with a low of 16, reaching a high of 36. Woo, keep hydrated today. Southwesterly wind of 20 kilometers an hour in Bayi with temperatures from 20 degrees degrees as the minimum, reaching a maximum of 26. High humidity for George at a high of 23 and a low of 16. Partly cloudy day in Sutherland with a minimum temperature of 14, reaching a maximum of 30 degrees. Southeasterly wind of 26 kilometers an hour in the mother city with a low of 19, reaching a maximum of 24. Worcester 1933, Springbok 2235, and the highest temperature in the country goes to Uppington with a maximum temperature of 36 and a low of 22. Whatever the weather in your part of the country is, please make sure to have yourselves a fantastic Klein Vrydag.
It's turning out to be a good one indeed. But listen, in case you didn't know, today is World Book Day.
Yeah.
And so we're seeking inspiration from you to find out what books have caught your interest, what books you're currently reading. Please do share those thoughts with us on our social media pages, especially here on Expresso Morning Show, SABC.
I wonder what Tubbsy's reading.
What book does that say?
50 Shades, I'm thinking 50 Shades. No.
How to learn yoga.
The funny thing is, I got back into reading because I've started reading to Jack, well, I have been since he was little. JP Sebastian bought me a copy of The Little Prince, which is one of the most beautiful stories ever written, and it's so beautiful to read to your child. And I started reading when he was like a week old, started reading him this, and then I started enjoying that process again, and it kind of woke up the synapses in my brain. Now I've got 3 books that I'm going, but I can read like 1 page, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's quite a relaxing.
Terrible, man, but it is.
Yeah.
It's, what are you reading at the moment?
I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I haven't picked up like a physical book in a long time. I do PDFs. So the last book I've ever read was Shlomo the Wife. It's a South African lady. She's trying to find a man and some blessing, but it's a very interesting. But the last physical book I read was on Monday.
Nothing from you,
which is the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Really, like I started
100%.
with the Bible. So
and actually read it. Don't just reference it, but read it.
And when you read the Bible, how do you go about it? Do you do you open on a random page?
Inspire me, Lord.
It depends. No, it just depends how I was feeling that day. It was all about love, and I needed to feel it. So like I just felt like Corinthians was that scripture that I needed. So I just go through it and then I read it. What are you reading?
Very cool. 3 books. One called Ultra Learning. The other called Sapiens, about the history of humanity and humankind.
How far we've come.
And one is called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
So do you just like read through everything, or do you
just like whatever I'm, because they're 3 very different books. The one is a historical look at the history of humankind. The other one, Ultra Learning, about the concept of using certain methodologies to learn very quickly new skills, and then the other one is just like a very fun story.
There's no better release than Hitchhiker's Guide.
So depending on the mood.
Yeah.
But honestly, Hitchhiker's Guide should be Douglas Adams should be on everyone's bucket list. Completely.
It is hilarious.
Well, you can let us know what you are reading on World Book Day, and if you want to pick up a book, Jamie, today is the day to do it. Go out there, read to yourself, read to your little ones, inspire yourself.
Tropical Island of Treasure is back for a 9th season, and this time around we're coming to you from the Dutch Caribbean island of Curacao. Here, 6 celebrities and 6 smooth fans will pair up to compete for fame and fortune and the smoothest treasure of all, a shared 1 million rand. 3, 2, 1, go! Catch the new season of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. from the 3rd of March on SABC3.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso right here on SABC3. Thank you so much for choosing to start off your morning with us right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's time for us to kickstart our morning on a very positive note. As you know, every single day we give you the quote of the day from the famous people who have done extremely well in their respective fields. And today's one comes from Stephen King. He is a well-known American author who specializes in writing horror and suspense movies. He is considered one of the most successful writers of the contemporary horror and suspense genre. In his life, he has published over 50 books, imagine, and many of them have been adapted into films. Despite his childhood, he became the success he is today. Our quote on World Book Day goes like this.
Come to the book as you would come to an unexplored land. Come without a map. Explore it and draw your own map.
Oh, wow.
I like it. I feel like you have to be open-minded when you are reading a book.
Yes.
Make sure that that book is going to give you direction so that you almost exploring it, going on an adventure. Make sure that you open-minded, just literally open-minded to it, and then explore it.
Absolutely.
It's something you've never explored before.
It's a different world. It's a different kind of world that allows you to work on your imagination, you know. Have you watched any of his horror movies like It or It Chapter 2, Misery, The Shining? Really?
No, but is it good? It transports you to a different world. So
it's horror, so I watch my horror movies during the day so that so that I have enough time to kind of desensitize my mind from being all creeped out and scared so that I can sleep peacefully at night. But he's an incredible author. I think it's absolutely amazing for someone to be able to just, come up with such concepts, you know, and allow people to allow us to get into that kind of world and also just to explore, as he mentioned, that kind of reality. So
I think that's the best thing about books. It allows you to go into a different dimension, but also just to broaden your mind. So remember, today is World Book Day, and let us know again what is books that you draw inspiration from.
Yeah, and hopefully we are inspiring you to pick up a book and start reading, even if today is the very first day in a very long time. Do it. Let us know what books have caught your interest. Let's see what you've had to say on Expresso Morning Show SABC3, our Facebook page. So, Snapolo says, morning, my Expresso family. The book I'm currently enjoying now is Leven Thumps by Obert Sky. Is that Leven Thumps? Oh, best Leven Thumps by Obert Sky. Best book ever. I must say, I've never heard of that one before. Sounds very, very interesting. Let's see what else you had to say from Paulina here saying, morning fam, I honestly need a new book though. After Tears by Nick Mhlongo. Still love it. So I'm assuming that's one that Paulina read very recently and she's now looking for a new one. So let's see whether we can find her inspiration to pick up another one. Another comment coming up, please. Jerry saying The Dreamers by Karen Thompson Walker. That's one that she's reading. And then another comment coming through from Tembeli saying, my all-time favorite author, Jodi Picoult, and the book Handle with Care. Jodi Picoult is quite a popular writer. Another one here from Zotile says, good morning, fam. I'm currently reading Gabriel Union's We're Going to Need More Wine. Yo, what an emotional roller coaster. And Jamie is waving her hands in the air saying, I read that, yes. Beautiful stuff. Yeah?
It's a vibe. It's a whole vibe.
She read it. And she says it is a vibe. Keep those comments coming through on Expresso Morning Show SABC3. We'd love to know about the books that you're reading, books that you currently would love to start reading as we celebrate this day, which is World Book Day on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But right now, let's quickly connect with Tolo Phiri. He's all the way, of course, in Johannesburg, chatting to a young African writer who's making big waves.
A very good morning to Expresso family. We are coming to you live from our Johannesburg studios this morning, talking everything World Book Day. Now, we know that the trend of children's literature written by children themselves has been growing globally, and we have a very young, or rather good crop of young authors in our very own country that are following the footsteps of great literary giants like J.K. Rowling, like Charles Dickinson. And one of those authors has to be Michelle Nkamakeng, who at the age of 7 made history by becoming the youngest author to feature on the top 10 list of the best young authors in the world. And this morning, she joins us alongside with her mom, Lolo Nkamakeng, to talk to us a little bit about her literary journey and her passion for writing. A very warm Expresso welcome to you both, Michelle and Lolo. How are you doing?
Thank you for having us.
Michelle, I'm going to start with you. I mean, why do you think it's so important for children to read children's books?
Well, I think it's important because when it's an adult to a child, it doesn't really get that real understanding from an adult to a child. But when it's a child to another child, I think that the child will understand better and it will inspire them to also follow in that other child's footsteps. Yeah.
Now, you started writing at a very, very young age, the age of 5, I believe. I think I was still doing my ABCs at that age. And by age 6, you had written 2 books, Waiting for the Waves, and the one that I'm holding now, The Little Girl Who Believes in Herself. Talk to us a little bit about what inspired these series of books.
Well, my first 2 books, Waiting for the Waves and The Little Girl Who Believes in Herself, they were inspired by the experiences I had when I was 5.5 years old. And I thought that I would like to share my experiences out there for other people and other children to also feel inspired, to also write down all those experiences they never want to forget.
What an inspirational book. And The Little Girl Who Believes in Herself, the title is definitely fitting for a little girl like you, because you definitely believe in yourself. Mom, I'm going to move over to you. I mean, you must be so proud of Michelle. But as a mom, how has it been like balancing her school life, her social life, and of course, a booming writing career?
Balancing her life, it hasn't been easy. I'm so proud of her because she's self-independent and she's self-control. So she planned her stuff herself. Then for me, I just cross over it and see which one is more important than the other. Then we work on that on the calendar. Yeah.
I mean, you helped publish her latest offering titled The Little Mouse. What is that book all about?
The Little Mouse is about a Tom House boy that is having a Tom House that loves a cat a lot. But where they were living, he didn't know that there was a cat in the house. So one day when he was going out, he found a cat. So he loved the cat. Now he said, no, I'm going to use that pet like my own. Yeah.
In the spirit of World Book Day, Michelle, I hear you've prepared a little extract from your latest offering, The Little Mouse, to read. Do you want to read it? A little bit of the book to us.
Okay. He then decided to keep the little mouse named Jerry as a pet. The little mouse, now named Jerry, was so happy because Tom's parents said he could keep him and that he was part of the family. Jerry was very happy. Him and his new family lived happily ever after. Is it really a happily ever after, or will Luika get her revenge? The end.
Ah, man, written by Michelle Nkamakeng herself, the youngest, one of the youngest authors we have in our country. You're doing so well, Michelle. Mom, I heard that in 2016 you also started the Michelle Nkamakeng Foundation. Talk to us a little bit about the inspiration behind that and what exactly does the foundation offer?
The Michelle Nkamakeng Foundation in 2016, when we were going around for interviews, so most of the children, they wanted her book. So she was like, no, mommy, let's just give the books and all that. You know, she's kind of caring. She wants everyone to be okay. Then I was like, no, remember, this book was published and there was money for it. Then she was like, but how can we do so that we can reach other people, we can empower them? And so she started, I said, there is something like philanthropies or yes. Then she said, but where is another way of doing it? she's the one who went on Google. Then she said foundation. Then it was like, what is a foundation? I said, no, check it. If you want it or you understand what is foundation, then we can go for it. So when we check, he said, no, Mama, I'm going to start a foundation so that it will allow me to do the NGO, like to do stuff that I wanted to do. Then that is when the foundation started to empower children and youth. It's empowering and educating of children and youth, especially through literacy. There are different stuff that the foundation do, but mostly it's focusing on literatures, kind of. But we do a different charity work, uplifting the community. She goes to school, leadership, like she just won the Ubuntu Leadership, the Youth Diplomacy Awards. Yeah, so she have been doing a lot. The foundation is doing across most of the stuff for children and youth.
The foundation is doing so much. Michelle has done so much in her short writing career. Mom, where do you see her, or where do you want to see her in the future?
For me, what I want to see for her is her part, what she desires and what she wants. Because you understand that what you want, if you go with that passion, without somebody telling you that you must do this, you will go with the flow. So my own is, she will find her path, whatever path she wants to go, I will just follow, support her through it.
And we're all here to support you, Michelle, and you, Lolo, as her mother. I mean, it is World Book Day, and we're celebrating young authors such as Michelle Nkamakeng. We really can't wait to see what the future holds for you. But for now, it is back to you guys in studio, and happy World Book Day.
Happy World Book Day.
Solo, happy World Book Day to you too, and to our special guest over there, young African author making big waves around the world.
And we were just, the nuance, the difficulty in encapsulating something in a children's story, it takes a huge amount of skill and natural ability. I think either you can or you can't. So well done, young. And so very excited. Dr. Daniel Kahneman is back in the house. We're going to be taking you to the final frontier. We love satellites, but they're making life a little difficult for our astronomers. Yep. We'll delve into that after the break.
Find yourself daydreaming of fairy tale lands, paradise beaches, and glamorous cities? With a sprinkle of magic, Travel Start is making your travel dreams come true. Their Dream Week sale is finally here. Get ready to mark your calendar from the 2nd to the 6th of March 2020 and sign up for great savings to mega cities. Chase those pinch me moments with travelstart.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Thursday morning as we take a quick look at some updates from the world of technology. Some really cool things happening out there. Now, as we know, servicing a commercial satellite has not always been a possibility, especially for private companies. And after a satellite completes its service lifespan, or if it experiences orbital troubles, it'll simply enter Earth's atmosphere and burn up or remain in orbit as space junk, which is not what we want. Now, for the first time ever, private companies may be able to service faulty satellites and to extend their lifespan. design. Now, 2 commercial satellites have docked in space for the first time, spearheading the satellite servicing industry. Northrop Grumman's Mission Extension Vehicle, or MEV-1, docked with a communication satellite, Intelsat 901, on February the 25th, 2020. And the mission was to refuel the Intelsat 901, which would then lose all communication with a crew if it ran out of fuel and would then be, of course, uncontrollable, or they would be able to control it in outer space. Now, the MEV-1 was already launched in October of 2019, meaning that it took about 3 months to maneuver around the globe in its orbit in such a way as to make docking viable. And the satellites met up in what's called a graveyard orbit, which is a place where defunct satellites are put so that they won't be interfering with any other activities of other satellites as well. So once the additional 5 years of service by the Intelsat is complete, MEV-1 will then move it back to the graveyard orbit, where it'll be then decommissioned, and potentially MEV-1 could then move on to service another satellite. So this is actually great news in the development. Yeah, and it's launching another service industry out there as we look to explore space more.
That's crazy. Within 3 months, that's already taken place. Imagine within 5 years what more can be, just be done on this platform.
I feel like if you're going to come up with a satellite from the jump, you need to come up with ways or means to kind of, if once it gets faulty, you know what to do with it instead of it just orbiting around the universe. I feel like this came up very late, but we're here, so I guess that's a good thing.
I guess, that's the idea, that in the development of technology, systems are put in place to prevent or to kind of cater for what would happen if the not ideal circumstances are at hand. Yeah. But anyway, that's the latest from the world of technology, but as Graham did allude to earlier on, Dr. Dan Cunnama is back again to take us to the final frontier.
Yes, it's time to broach the final frontier. Now, we say his name just about weekly when it comes to space exploration of anything related to science and tech, it seems at the moment. Elon Musk's company, StarLink, is looking to create a worldwide internet network, something that we haven't seen before, which involves sending thousands of satellites into, we know, a really cluttered space as it stands at the moment. But this plan is causing major concerns for astronomers who are at this time worried about the blanket of satellites and what that's going to do to interfere with their telescopes. So now they want the public to help by taking photos of the night sky, documenting the light caused by the satellites. And this is part of a long-term study to provide evidence of the concerns. So should we be concerned? Well, let's find out from Dr. Daniel Cunnama. He is back to give us a bit of an update on the situation. Dan, we're normally talking about wonderful things that are happening maybe a little deeper in space, not this close to the planet. I think for all of us, maybe just remind us of what Starlink is actually all about. We know it's about creating connectivity, but maybe in a bit more detail.
Yeah, so it's a very cool project. I mean, don't take anything away from it. Very exciting. Sending up thousands of satellites which will provide global internet coverage. So wherever you are, in deepest, darkest Africa, in the middle of the ocean, Antarctica, you will be able to get high-speed, high-quality internet. So directly up and...
Yeah,
so
Skynet.
Exactly, right? So it's a very, very cool project, and it's going to change a lot of lives. But in order to do this, you need a lot of satellites. So the minimum is about 12,000 satellites. And to give you some perspective, there are currently about 2,000 satellites, active satellites in space. So 6 times that. Just to get going, there's obviously going to be competition. So there'll be other people other than Elon Musk who want to send up their own constellations.
How difficult it's going to be to send a spacecraft through this net of satellites. Is it the light caused by, because you know that cities create light pollution of sorts, that there are things already affecting that. Is it the light from the satellites that's at the root of the issue?
So for us, for astronomers, that's the root of the issue. These satellites, they're going up once every 2 weeks now. Elon Musk sending 60 up every 2 weeks. The next one going up on Wednesday next week. You can actually see them like trailing across the sky. There's just this string of 60 satellites that moves across the sky as they move into their positions. But that is a major problem for astronomers. So we want to take long exposures of like distant galaxies and stars and if you've got these 60 satellites streaking across your vision, it's a problem. And once there's going to be 12,000, then we're really in trouble.
And I know we're using radio telescopes here, but it makes you think, as a country that's got some of the most active mapping of the deep, dark universe, it certainly does affect us. So how then will people like us taking photos of the night sky help them in their efforts? So are we going to shut it down? Are we going to shut down?
I mean, there have been threats to take it to the United Nations and sort of to try and do something about this, because it is a real risk for us to do any ground-based astronomy, particularly optical ground-based astronomy in the future. It could literally wipe out astronomy from the Earth. So people are very serious about it. In terms of this project, taking photos with your phone, I think that the point is to try and track the development of this over the next 5 years.
See what it's actually doing, yeah.
So let's see how much light pollution it's creating now. At the moment, there's 240 up there. Next week, there'll be 300. In 5 years' time, there's going to be 12,000. So we want to see how that has deteriorated, how that's caused the sort of stars to deteriorate. And if we can track that, we can, you know, we can knock on Elon's door and say, come on, man.
But you would think someone who's so interested in deep space exploration that he would have thought of these things. Please, we don't want Dr. Dan to be out of a job. We don't want him to be out of a job. I didn't realize just how concerned we should actually be, especially from an optic perspective. But you can play your part in being a part of science as it evolves as we speak. And we'll put all of those details up on our social media platforms of how you can get your photos, be a part of the solution, hopefully, to find an answer.
Well, it's time for some entertainment on your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Thursday morning. Soweto's finest are in the studio, and here they are about to perform their latest release, the banger that is Tigolosh. Yeah, man. Soweto's finest on your feel-good breakfast show with Tigoloshi. That banger track. Everyone's loving it out there, man. Let us know what you thought about that on our Expresso Morning Show's Facebook page. I think you've just shown us like a new version. How does it go? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Well, before you break something, we need to take a quick break. I need to practice a bit more on that. Nice one, fam.
Thank you, sir.
Nice one.
Thank you, bro.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Good. How do you not do the little shimmies? You know, Jack, my boy, does a shimmy. I was like, do shimmy, shimmy.
How does he do it?
It's so sweet. It's so sweet. So thank goodness he has his mommy's musical ability, not dad's. But it's not about that. It's about you today because it's your birthday, and hopefully someone loves you enough to send through a beautiful birthday message, just like this one. This one is going to Anna, and it's coming by the way of Bruce Lee. Take a look. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, birthday to you. Yeah, birthday to you, Anna. Yeah, birthday to you. Une 0, une 8 man, une 1.
You don't understand. I'm all about those little bows for girls. At the moment, I've spent so much money on little bow things for little girl heads because you got to. Okay, when they're first born, you got to let people know that it's a girl. So you put a bow and it's it's so sweet. But that was gorgeous, man.
Turban. But of course, there are more birthday wishes coming through for you. One of them being for Nomsa. Happy birthday to Nomsa. May you stay blessed and enjoy your day, Nomsa. Looking all fly, mama. And then to Vernice, a happy 17th birthday to our beautiful baby girl, Vernice Govender. May Jesus grant you all your heart's desires. Thank you for the beautiful person you have become inside and out. This comes from your mom, your dad, nephew Calden, and the entire Governor Roger and Naidu families.
Happy birthday to you, man. And this one goes to Kenzani. Happy birthday to our lovely and incredible daughter, Kenzani. May God bless you with all that you pray and working for. We love you. Mika's also celebrating, which one is Mika there between them?
They've given you an arrow even to point.
Oh, there's an entire arrow. Happy birthday to you, Mika. Happy birthday to Mika from Auntie Jonelle and Jalen. We love you so, so much.
And also giving us the feels this morning. Happy 45th birthday to Portia and Dai. May the Lord Jesus Christ grant you with many, many more years to come and more blessings. Happy birthday, Portia. Then a happy 6th birthday to my last-born son. May the good Lord bless him with many more years. Mom loves you to bits.
We love
We love you to bits as well.
Aww. Another one coming through from Millicent. Happy 56th birthday to a wife, mother and granny. May God's blessings keep flowing over your life. And then last but definitely not least, a happy 3rd birthday, Chesray. May you have an awesome day. Stay as adorable as you are. You are very adorable. We all love you very much, from Auntie Gwen and your cousins Keisha and Liam.
Absolutely, man. It's the 5th of March. If you are celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you. And if you would love to send a loved one or a colleague a birthday message or one of those videos we absolutely love seeing, do so by sending a video, please, to 071-640-6551 or simply email us at birthdays@cordova.tv. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you indeed if you are celebrating your very special day. Now, the entire world has been on high alert since the outbreak of the coronavirus was announced in mid-January. And of course, with the concern of the spread of the virus across borders, many people are feeling reluctant to continue with prior travel plans. And joining us to share more on the impact of the coronavirus on the local tourism industry, CEO of South African Tourism, Mr. Sisa Ntshona. Happy birthday. No, it's not your birthday. It's good to see you, my leader. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
Awesome.
Very well, thank you. I'm sure the industry, your office has been under a huge amount of strain since the news broke internationally. How is the news of the coronavirus influencing the industry from both a global and a local perspective?
Sure. I've had to become a health expert, over the last couple of days. But just to kind of give you a better sense that the coronavirus is actually hitting the entire world, right? It's affecting the stock market, as an example, which has seen 2008 pre-crash levels. Now, within the tourism space, what it has actually done is that China is the world's largest source market for travel outside there. So therefore, when you lock down China, it has a reverberating effect across the entire world. Now, what has happened then is that ever since then is that travel has actually subdued over time because people are not so longer comfortable to actually move around. So it's become more than just China, but it's become travel in general. Now, the area that is most at risk for us is on the global conferencing space. So where South Africa actually holds conferences that are 90-95% attended by international people. People are just kind of saying we're not comfortable to congregate in one space where there's other nationalities and everything else in place. And we've seen cancellations happen across the board, right from the US, obviously, especially in China. So it's become more than just China at the moment.
Yeah. So if people have already now made travel plans, booked flights, accommodation and such other things, what do they need to consider given the current status quo of the spread of the virus and, when they're considering continuing their travel plans or not?
Sure. So from the country perspective, the first thing we look at is actually the safety of South African citizens. We've got to make sure that, to date, we've had no cases of confirmed coronavirus. So we want to make sure that continues. Secondly, as well, the safety of our travelers in here. And that we've got to be able to balance that. And that supersedes any commercial consideration. Now, what we are looking at is say, well, there's going to be a gap in the market because people are no longer coming in. Hotels and accommodation, everything else, will have excess stock. There lies in the opportunity then to say, well, how do we focus on domestic tourism? Because even families are no longer traveling outside the country from South Africa. How then do we shift all this traffic to internal to make sure that South Africans actually travel a lot more within their own country? And also appeal out to the product owners, the hoteliers. So, well, just let's adjust some pricing and make it a bit more user-friendly for South Africans.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier on, is that the stock markets have been hit by this and multiple industries, not just tourism, we're talking the mining industry, the steel industry as well.
Well, I mean, China is a world's factory, right? And essentially, when you shut down, I mean, just to give you a bit of a sense, the Wuhan region is about 60 million people. that's like shutting down the whole of South Africa.
Yeah,
you understand? Now, when China is no longer producing for the world, you can understand about consumption and everything else there, things stop. Our raw materials are no longer getting into China as well, so that impacts us as well. So the entire ecosystem is really going to be slowing down, and until we get a grab on the hold on this coronavirus, it's going to be quite tough for the next couple of months.
Or perhaps maybe a catalyst for other industries out there to look at other ways of processing raw materials. I mean, what if China were to be in big trouble? What do we then do as a global community, global industry? And like I said, maybe a catalyst for other industries to start making way. But how long, is there some kind of prediction as to say this is how long it'll take the tourism industry to recover? And if so, how does the industry plan to do that?
Well, this is a black swan event, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Every day we meet and kind of have a dipstick and have a sense of where things are going. I think, like any epidemic, it kind of goes up in increase, it stabilizes over time, and then kind of decreases again. We just don't know how long it's going to take, and we literally look at it every single day. We are in constant conversation with the entire value chain. Airlines, as an example, is one of them, whereby they've really been hit now in terms of having less passengers actually on board. We've got to keep commerce going. We are particularly concerned about South Africa and say, well, what about the jobs that are in the tourism space? How do we keep it going? And we're also appealing out to South African corporates. Say, well, you can play a role as well. Instead of, giving you incentives for staff to travel outside of the country, do it internally within the country. There's enough activities, facilities, and different types of things to do that can actually fulfill that gap.
Yeah, in fact, more than enough within our own borders. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Njona. We'll be back again with Mr. Njona to find out about the South African tourism's latest efforts to help us visit each other and welcome the world with their Home of Humanity campaign. All of that and more after a short break.
Money.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Thursday morning. It's so good to be in your company, and we're back again with the CEO of South African Tourism, Mr. Sisan Jona, to discuss the excitement and the efficacy of their latest campaign, Home of Humanity. And it's good to see that the inspiration is still there to just keep on bringing out great content that promotes South Africa, that promotes travel within South Africa. Let's talk about the Home of Humanity campaign and what it sets out to do.
Sure. So first of all, is realizing actually that we are competing for tourists globally. And we've got to make sure that in this very noisy room that our voice actually becomes louder than others. Now, in order to prepare the ground for actually receiving 21 million tourists by 2030, we've got to start within the country. And it's about making every single South African aware and sensitive about what role they can play within the tourism space. Now, all research tells us a couple of things, that it's not our magic formula is actually not our wonderful weather, wonderful landscape, beautiful beaches and all the likes. It's actually our people. Every single person that comes here tells us the thing that actually hit them the most was our people, Ubuntu, right?
Wow.
Now, this talks about bringing the South African story to the fore, bringing the story about who we are, where we come from, that immersion that tourists are looking for. And basically what we're saying is two things, right? First of all, let's visit each other, right, across the country, know your own country, and secondly, to welcome the world as they come in, because we need them to actually boost this economy of ours that is very stagnant.
Yeah, and you talk about the people, and I think that's obviously a very important thing in that to the global market out there and to the potential people that will be coming to our country. We want to highlight what being South African is all about. And within these adverts that we're seeing, we talk the conveying of the spirit of humanity is so important.
Absolutely. So two things. Tourism is trade, right? It literally is trade. It affects our balance of payments. And what we're looking for as a country, now that we're in a recession, is we want to bring people into the country who spend money in the country so that our GDP can actually grow. I mean, that becomes important.
Yeah.
Then it also says, well, what attracts people into the country? I mean, there was a very anecdotal story that someone told me about a friend of theirs from Germany whose favorite pastime is when in South Africa is to go pour petrol at the service station.
Even?
Yeah, simple thing like that. We take it for granted, I'm telling you. Apparently this guy actually enjoys pouring petrol and having the conversation with the petrol attendants.
Wow.
You understand?
They are characters, they're full of energy.
Absolutely fascinating. And again, it is these gems that we just want to bring into the center and just encourage South Africans to be who they are. And, and literally, it's like we're all on a stage and all in theater and we all play a part. You don't have to be directly in tourism to play that part, but you essentially can be as just a normal South African citizen.
Yeah, and as a last few words of encouragement to the public out there, how we can help the tourism industry grow from strength to strength.
Sure.
What would you say?
So when tourism does well, everyone does well.
Very true.
Right? And essentially, we've got to look at tourists coming to the country as people who are actually helping us to grow this economy. We are all hard-pressed in our pocket right now. We need that outside money that gets spent in this economy so that, businesses don't actually close down. We just need those euros, we need those pounds, we need those rands, to kind of grow up the shore. Secondly, as well, is to encourage people to travel within their own country. Now, I'm always inundated, it's expensive to travel, etc., etc. There are some good deals out there. And also timing as to when you travel. We all want to travel at the same time, the same place. So it can happen, what happens to the price inflation in that place. Now, doing some smart travel, and we'll be bringing some technology that will enable people to know, have a view when the best time to travel is, when the best deals are at, and everything else there. So we're working very hard to make sure we can get that information out as well.
Excellent stuff. So always an inspiration to have you in studio, chatting all things South African tourism and what's happening. And hopefully this has you inspired to travel within our very own borders. In fact, there's a lot of information that you can find out regarding South African tourism and, of course, the industry. And you can visit southafrica.net for more information.
Thank you so much, Kat. Time now just before 8 o'clock. It's a final look at your news headlines. Kicking it off with your national news. Now, some 200 refugees are still camping out on the street close to the Cape Town Central Police Station, despite a court order to leave. Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs says the deportation of foreign nationals refusing to abide by SA's laws may be the only solution to the ongoing crisis. The city of Cape Town will hold a media briefing today on the efforts it took to resolve the conflict. Another group of foreign nationals is still living at the Central Methodist Church. In other news, KwaZulu-Natal Premier Zikalala says despite the country's sluggish economy, the province has managed to attract investments and create jobs. Now, Zikalala yesterday delivered his State of the Province's address in Pietermaritzburg. He said despite unemployment figures that show 29.1% of working age people remaining jobless, KZN reflected employment growth with a net gain of 39,000 jobs. Zikalala also announced that the province would be opening a new state-of-the-art 2.8 billion rand hospital in this financial year. Now moving further abroad with your international news, Ethiopia has said the U.S. position on the controversial Nile River mega dam project is, quote, totally unacceptable. The U.S. is negotiating between Ethiopia and Egypt in the ongoing dispute over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam that some fear could lead to war. Ethiopia has accused the U.S. of overstepping its role as a neutral observer after the U.S. said the dam should not be completed without an agreement. Ethiopia wants to start filling the dam in June, but countries downstream are concerned about the impact on their water supply. In other news as well, Saudi suspends Umrah pilgrimage over coronavirus fears. Citizens barred from entering two of Islam's holiest cities. Saudi Arabia yesterday suspended the year-round Umrah pilgrimage to the holy cities of Mecca and Medina over coronavirus fears, the Interior Ministry said yesterday. Now, the Gulf state has decided to suspend Umrah temporarily for citizens and residents in the kingdom. The ministry said in a statement carried by the official Saudi press agency. The decision comes after Saudi Arabia last week suspended visas for the pilgrimage and barred citizens from the Six-Nation Gulf Cooperation Council from entering two of Islam's holiest cities. And now news of giant visitors returning to the Cape Waters. It is that time of the year again. Southern right whales are visiting the Cape Waters, treating locals and tourists to a display of breaching, fluking, spouting and spy hopping. Most important, the public has been warned to, however, keep safe distances from them as recent occurrences of whale muggings have become a concern. Sand Park marine biologist Alison Cox says boats and ships need to reduce speed in their presence. The law requires any person to maintain a distance of at least 300 meters. Now, southern right whales average 15 meters in length and can weigh a whopping 60 tons. The whales migrate annually from Antarctica to the coast around Cape Town to calve their offspring. As Alison says, quote, always respect these incredible ocean giants because it's a privilege to have them on our doorstep. And now turning our gaze into the world of entertainment, it seems that love is in the air for two of the industry's most quirky American stars, singer and multimedia artist Solange Knowles and rapper and actor Common, after it was speculated that he was her date as she received the first ever Lena Horne Prize for Artists Creating Impact at Manhattan's Town Hall. More on that later on in our full entertainment report, and that's where we leave your news headlines for now. Here's a look at the sports with G.
We kick it off with cricket. The Proteas securing the one-day international series against Australia. That was after winning their second match of the series by 6 wickets at the Mangawang Oval in Bloemfontein last night. Australia won the toss and decided to bat first, posting a very respectable 271. In fact, a record total on the pitch. The opening batsman Janneman Malan was instrumental in leading South Africa to the win, hitting 129 runs unbeaten from his 139 deliveries. And again, a star with the ball in hand, Lungi Nkidi was equally impressive on the night, picking up a career-best 6 wickets for 58 runs. So the third and final ODI between the Proteas and Australia will take place this coming Saturday, kicking off at 10 a.m. Then staying with a battle royale in cricket, the ICC Women's T20 World Cup semi-final fixture between the Proteas women and Australia as well will take place this morning, kicking off at 10 a.m. at the Sydney Cricket Ground. South Africa topping Group B after remaining unbeaten in the pool stages of the competition. Australia has now won the tournament on 4 occasions and, of course, are the current champions. The first semi-final between England and India is also currently underway as we speak. The winner will face either South Africa or Australia, obviously, in that final on Sunday. And then finally on to football. Defending champions Manchester City advanced to the FA Cup quarter-finals, where they will face Newcastle United. That was after beating Sheffield United 1-0. And a bit of a shock, Tottenham Hotspur crashed out of the competition after losing 3-2 in a penalty shootout to Norwich City. The third fixture of the evening, Leicester City just edged out Birmingham City 1-0. The Foxes will now face Chelsea in their quarter-final draw. The quarter-finals of the competition will play across the weekend of the 21st and the 22nd of March. And that's a wrap of your sport for this morning.
Beautiful Thursday. Happy Klein Vrydag to everyone. Now we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Thank you so much to Ntokozo Makatini for your amazing sunrise from Johannesburg, as well as Gary Outcome for your beautiful sunrise from East London, as well as Father Khan, our regular, for your spectacular sunrise from Richards Bay, and then last but definitely not least, Nancy Govender for your stunning sunrise picture from Umkomas on this beautiful Thursday morning. But right now, let's take a look at the rest of the country, starting off in Polokwane. Your low is 12, peaking at 27 degrees. Now, high humidity can be expected for you, Mbombela, ranging from 15 to 27 degrees. Pretoria, 13, 30. And then the cooler start to the morning can be seen in Johannesburg with an all-low of 13 and a high of 28. Mahikeng, 16, 31. Klerksdorp, 15, 30. If you find yourself in Kimberley today, your low is 19 with a max of 32. Plenty of sunshine today for you, Bloemfontein, with an all-low of 16 and a high of 31. Richards Bay, 19, 32. And then clear skies for you, Pietermaritzburg, with an all-low of 17 and a high of 31. South Africa's playground, Durban, is hitting a low of 21 and a high of 29. Mthatha, 16, 33. And then a southwesterly wind of 20 kilometers per hour for you, East London, with an all-low of 22, peaking at 29. Cradock, 16, 36. And then a southwesterly wind of 20 kilometers per hour for you, PE, Port Elizabeth, with a low of 20 and a high of 26. High humidity can also be expected today for George, with a low of 16, peaking at 23. Sutherland, 14, 30. And then a southeasterly wind of 26 kilometers per hour for the mother city, Cape Town, with a low of 19 and a high of 24. Worcester, 19, 33. Springbok, 22, 35. And then the highest temperature in the country can be found in Uppington with an all-low of 22 and a high of 36. Whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, make sure it is a feel-good kind of day indeed.
Yeah, and it is turning out to be a feel-good kind of Thursday. Now, from the first time when we heard the pride chant of "We're here, we're queer, we will not live in fear," issues around being in the LGBT plus community have become more prominent in public eye, from TV shows like Queer Eye and Pose to celebrity children not being afraid to announce that they're transgender. And most recently, Zaya, daughter of former NBA player Dwayne Wade. Now, with Pride Week recently having taken place, we're asking the question, what's the best way to help our children come out? And so this morning, we're joined by an expert panel consisting of clinical psychologist Karen Lee Masters, sexologist and clinical social worker Ron Adenal, as well as the executive director of Gender Dynamics, Liberty Matesa, to help us discuss this hot topic. And of course, we'd love to hear your questions and your comments as well. So head on over to our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Drop a comment in the post and we would love to engage with you. And our guests have also found new favorites in our Frenchies as well, who've given them a furry welcome. Morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you know, the LGBT plus community has gained prominence, I think, since the 60s. It's not a matter of like gaining popularity or anything like that, but it became less taboo as the years went by. What do you think the strides that the community took over the years to be where we are today?
I think there's been a gradual awareness that's growing globally. In the States, in Europe, in South Africa, in Africa, people are becoming much more aware of the LGBTQ community and acceptance of that we are all different and that it's not just a binary of you're either heterosexual or you're homosexual. And even for a long time, homosexuality was regarded as a mental disorder in the DSM, which is the Bible for psychiatrists. So we've taken great strides since then, including in South Africa, but it's still going slow. But I always say we need to celebrate the little steps that everyone is taking. There's much more outspokenness about it. People are coming out of the closet. And I think also, thanks to social media, the space is already out there. And people are saying, I can speak and I can show myself as I am authentically. And I'm not agreeing with these two extremes that our sexuality is on a continuum from heterosexual to homosexual, and we're all in between there. And what the world has been saying under the conservative kind of colonialist Western ideas is that you either this or you that.
Choose.
You must choose. That's it. Finish klar, you know?
And Ron, if I could throw the next question then at you, that, you know, for a lot of us, the understanding of what it means to be part of the LGBT plus community comes in your adult life. But as I said earlier on, Zaya Wade, for instance, came out publicly on social media, supported very well, of course, by mother and father Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. How much support are we offering to children and to adolescents to understand what it means to be part of the LGBT plus community?
Well, in the South African context, it has grown exponentially, especially with children and adolescents, I'd say in the last 5 or so years. But at the same time, I'm going to talk about the positive, but I must always qualify it. What I'm going to share is also localized in very specific parts of the country. I think we need to celebrate the gains, as Karen is saying, and I mean, we have a wonderful liberal constitution. A lot of things have developed, including in South Africa, but I think we always have to remind ourselves, because the assumption is we're a liberal country. We're a country with a very liberal constitution, and we have pockets where liberal mindsets exist. And those become places and spaces where trans children and adolescents and gay and lesbian and pansexual, there's a whole spectrum of orientations and gender identities we understand now, where they can come out. But South Africa, as a society across our cultures, you know, we're a culture, religious, rich country. And so a lot of conservatism and a lot of ignorance actually also still exists.
Absolutely.
So I think the point I want to make is in many spaces, young people still struggle to come out, and it's not safe to come out in certain environments. But that said, I think we've made, in Cape Town, we often refer to Cape Town as almost kind of the Mecca when it comes to the services that do exist. So we have organizations like Gender Dynamics, and Liberty will speak to that as the director. There's Triangle Project in Cape Town. We have the clinic at Grooteskier Hospital, at Red Cross Children's Hospital. We have a unit for transgender children and adolescents. So in the kind of the cosmopolitan environments, services exist where children can get support and guidance, and we work with, whenever you're working with children and adolescents, you're always working with the family. So it has grown, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
You know, I love the fact that you've touched on the structures put in place. I think globally, I think it was the president of Russia who said that they want to ban the marriage of, you know, homosexual couples. For me, in 2020, that's just mind-boggling. But then Liberty, he touched a little bit on the structures put in place in cosmopolitan spaces such as Cape Town. What other structures are put in place for adolescents or children who want to come out, as to say?
I think it's a very important consideration to touch on how do we understand LGBTI communities. I think oftentimes we conflate sexual orientation with gender identity, and that becomes a big problem in the communities in terms of how services then translate in different ways to different communities in the context of having dignity respected. So perhaps just to get a distinction between the two, that sexual orientation in itself is who you are attracted to. Gender identity is your sense of who you are in gender terms as an individual, and of course gender expression is somewhat different to that. The work of Gender Dynamics dynamics is to look at gender identity and gender expression more specifically, and how we can cater towards ensuring that the structures exist, whether it is legal structures in the sense of laws and policies that are enabling for trans and gender diverse persons within the healthcare system, within law, to be able to get your gender marker changed, because it's also a very bureaucratic process at the moment. Looking at education in particular, and that is a space in which transgender children spend most of their free time, being able to participate within the education program. However, the system in itself does not understand. So we're looking at it from the context of what does the curriculum need to embody in order to teach about gender diversity in its more broader sense, to make a trans child feel safe and feel secure within the classroom. At the same time, what is the school system in itself embodying to ensure that there's safe spaces outside of the classroom? So when children play on the playground, or when they participate within sporting codes, how are those inclusive and reflective of trans and gender diversity? So those would be some of the structures that I think would be very valuable to trans and gender diverse children that are very marginalized in being able to create safety in that particular regard. We touched on healthcare as well, in terms of what is the appropriate age for a trans child to get access to healthcare and affirm themselves. I think we'll talk a little bit about that during the course of the interview.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we will continue this conversation very shortly. And the big question we're asking, what's the best way to help our children come out? And we'd love to hear your questions and your comments for our expert panel. So head on over to our Facebook page, drop a comment on the post, and we would love to engage with you shortly. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, babe, check this.
Fascinating.
You know, I don't mean to brag or anything, but
Don't ruin the moment. Prevent allergies or cold and flu with fast-acting powder nasal spray from the Nexa range. Brought to you by Pharmadynamics.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. It is a Thursday. It's a beautiful Thursday. Geen vrijdag, as we would say. We're talking all things relationship, and today we are joined by a panel of experts, clinical psychologist and sexologist, and also clinical social worker and the executive director of Gender Dynamics, Liberty. They are joining us to help us discuss what needs to be considered if a younger family member comes out to you as a non-heterosexual or gender non-conforming person. We'd love to hear your questions and comments, so head on over to our Facebook page and drop a comment on this post, and we will definitely engage with you.
Absolutely. And thank you very much once again to our panel for being here. Liberty, if I could throw the first question of this segment to you, and let's talk about terminology, because I think early on you mentioned even just two things that need to be understood in terms of what one's identity is, how you identify yourself, and what one's sexual attraction preference is. Those are two very important distinctions that need to be made. What are the other terminologies that need to be widespread in terms of them being part of our knowledge base as a community in order to help support the LGBT plus movement?
I think what we find useful as an organization is, of course, being able to outline what it means to be lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex. And of course, these are not mutually exclusive terminologies. They actually intersect with one another, because every person has a sexual orientation and a gender identity and a way of expressing their gender identity. So we make reference to those labels and being able to articulate what that means. What is also very helpful is having an understanding of what our Constitution says and what our human rights are, to be able to get an understanding across to people that these are not people who identify as LGBTI, are not people that just fell miraculously out of the sky. We have existed forever. And so making reference to a human rights framework, such as our Constitution, the Bill of Rights becomes important in being able to champion our issues. But I think it's a very broad and expansive lexicon that we can go into, but for the purposes of keeping it very crisp, LGBTI in that particular sense would be important.
Maybe just add something to that. I think an important shift that happened recently is that we need to understand we need to move beyond the binary. So that if I can just speak to that. So we know that there are sexual orientations, but there's more than being homosexual or heterosexual, because that creates a binary, like there's two choices. And when it comes to gender identity, you're either cisgender or you're transgender. And what we know today is there's a continuum of sexual orientations: pansexual, asexual, omnisexual, bisexual, polysexual. So it's no longer a binary. When it comes to gender identity, there are multiple gender identities, being agender, being bigender, and the entire spectrum. And that is an important shift. There aren't two boxes to be ticked. There is diversity, and we all fall somewhere on that spectrum. And I find in the South African society, that's the struggle. People can still kind of get the, okay, you're either the one or the other, but the moment you let them know there is this plethora and this continuum, that I still find parents and South African society still struggles to grasp.
Life is not about absolutes, you know.
Absolutely.
There's definitely like a spectrum of emotions that we go through, and at different phases of our lives we identify with different things, but we never really understand that. But Ron, now this discussion has become more prominent, especially on social media, after Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's daughter came out as transgender. What do you think those conversations happening at the top affect us here at the bottom for people who don't have access to those kinds of structures and support?
So I think the positive influence is absolute. Visibility is essential. Being represented is essential. And I think when celebrities and their families are, because they're the ones that make it into the newspapers and onto the screens, and we have to acknowledge the power of their platforms. So I think in that sense, it's exceptionally positive. I mean, we have Charlize Theron as well, and Angelina Jolie. So there's been a number of celebrities whose children have come out as trans and have been spoken about. So I think that significantly contributes to a collective awareness and a consciousness. It gets conversations going. It ends up, you know, in shows like this, and which then kind of the broader society has access to. So I think it's very powerful in creating awareness and consciousness. But at the same time, I will say as well, it also creates anxiety. So often after these kinds of shows that I've participated in, there's sometimes a lot of anxiety and feedback, and you know, parents asking a lot of concerning questions. And in our context, you know, when it comes to cultural and religious beliefs, this might trigger, you know, in our country in particular, I've seen that. But the services have evolved, so maybe I need to speak to that. So as a trans child today, we follow the WPATH standards of care, the World Professional Association of Transgender Health, and we are already, and I've been involved over 5 years now with trans children that are coming out at the age of 3, 4, they're in primary school, they're in high school. And we're now at least at a point in time where standards of care exist, where an appropriately assessed transgender child, it is recommended that they socially transition. So I'm often involved, and gender dynamics and other professionals support us in negotiating the social transition of learners in primary schools, where we go in, we educate the parents, we educate the teachers, we speak to the school management, so that our trans kids can live their true, authentic selves in the school environment, which is such an important, powerfully socializing space, where the trans girl can just be one of the girls and the trans boy can be one of the boys. Yes, it does trigger things like who can play what sport and what bathroom to use. There's always those challenges, but they can be dealt with.
Sure. All right. Any last words, Karen Lee?
I just want to say it made me think about what I read about earlier, just in researching for this program. There was a lot of debate around, are children ready to make that kind of decision at 3 or 7 or 10 or whatever age prior to reaching a consenting age of 18 or 21. And the debate goes on, and some researchers say, absolutely, a child feels a certain way. They don't identify with the gender that they've been given at birth. And they start to feel a different feeling, and their parents, this is what happened with Zaya Wade. Her dad Dwayne saying that he started to see that she was feeling a certain way and behaving a certain way that was different to the gender that she was ascribed. And they just watched this unfolding. So others are saying, it was imposed upon her because her parents are celebrities and they wanted to ride on this wave and make their names kind of bigger and more out there. But I don't know. I mean, how do we know that? How can we say that for sure? What if a child does feel at the age of 3 or 7 or 10 that they are not identifying with the gender that they've been ascribed to at birth?
Well, clearly, still lots to be understood and to be talked about on public spaces and in public forums such as this one. And in fact, to quote Zaya Wade's parents, they said, quote, "A lot of people are wondering who they could have been had their parents supported who they are. Identity isn't a desire or a wish. It's more a matter of understanding and making the necessary adjustments to ensure someone is being celebrated for being their authentic and true selves." Wow, and with that in mind, if you are seeking more information, you are most welcome to send an email to info@genderdynamics.org.za. And to our panel, Ron, Liberty, Karen Lee, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this morning we are being blessed by Soweto's finest, and they've proven themselves to be just that, the finest. But what I love the most about this dance act breaking into live performance of music is, first of all, you never have to hire backup dancers because you're the best dancers in the country. But it's also the message that they're sending about how you need to work for what you want, and they've proven already how the hard yards have to be dealt with first to achieve this level of success, and then you get to reap the rewards. But they are amazing, and you have to see them live. And luckily, you're going to get that right now with Groovers Park.
batintwana usendwe ilama hem bajitina senze batukreti keketende batintwana usendwe ilama hem bajitina senze batukreti keketende bati we killing the vibe when you just bakulu minyo bati mapegela phansi kanti abasisa bakrema ngebosho bati we killing the vibe when you just bakulu minyo bati mapegela phansi kanti abasisa bakrema ngebosho so get me spending sense pity kofi malining so yenze fit kono zo vitiza kono sentimi so velling it credit cards in the scammer. Hitting my place in my pedal shit. Like a scene, venom. Why does this look like a pedal? Going out like I'm a tenor. 1, 2, 3, hey,
Yes. And that is how you get fit through dance, man. Hashtag improve. I absolutely love the fact that you're spreading this message of the love of dance. Get active. You can find these guys online. You can even go and dance with them in an ultra dance fit studio. It's now open to the world. Go and check them out. Go and show them some love on our social media platforms. Gentlemen, take a bow. That was awesome, man. Woo!
Tropical Island of Treasure is back for a 9th season, and this time around we're coming to you from the Dutch Caribbean island of Curacao. Here, 6 celebrities and 6 smooth fans will pair up to compete for fame and fortune and the smoothest treasure of all, a shared 1 million rand. 3, 2, 1, go! Catch the new season of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. from the 3rd of March on SABC3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. You know what that gorgeous little laugh means. It's time for Baby Talk. And we are going to be joined by and they've proven themselves to be experts in their field, our expert panel of guests. It's Tasha Perriard, clinic sister and childbirth educator, Sister Dariska as well. We're going to be talking about breastfeeding, and we're going to be asking you guys to send in any questions, any comments that you have. It might seem a bit strange, a guy talking about breastfeeding, but 4 weeks away from the arrival of my little baby daughter, trust me, if I haven't spoken about breastfeeding in the day, it's starting to feel a bit weird. So I want you to get over whatever you need to get over to have an honest and very real discussion around something that is critical, absolutely critical in that 4th trimester, that first phase of having your little baby in the world. So, ladies, welcome.
Thank you. And I think it's fine that you're here because we're also going to be speaking a little later onto a couple, how daddy can get involved with regards to the breastfeeding. No, absolutely.
It's one of the most beautiful, intimate spaces you can be, feeding especially your newborn. And to have that kind of bubble created around just mom and baby, apart from the stress that it puts on mom, having to be, excuse the pun, on tap all the time, but you really need to. And And that's why I say, just get over it, because dads, you need to, and moms, you want to be able to enjoy one of the most magical phases.
No, you're an absolute integral part of the process.
Yeah, no, it's a family affair. So.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I like this platform because we, of course, have you guys here to answer burning questions from our viewers, and one of them being Pumla Mate saying, yes, she does have a question. What can I do when my baby burped on my breast? The pain is unbearable, crying face.
Yeah, well, when breastfeeding hurts, it's really horrible. And there is a belief, which is unfounded, that if the baby burps while on the breast, it causes mastitis or breast fever or whatever you want to call it, infection in the breast, which is not true. The thing that causes infection in the breast is milk stasis, is if the milk stands still and you don't remove the milk. So I would honestly ask her to go and see someone. Why is it painful? Get a professional, because there must be something else happening there.
Causing the pain.
Yeah.
Birthing is obviously a process that the baby needs to do after a feed, and it should, if the breast is unbearably uncomfortable, it definitely means that
there's something else.
Definitely something else going on.
Okay, so go and speak to someone, whether it's at your antenatal group or speak to your sister or speak to your doctor. Fazika Shazi saying, when it comes to breastfeeding, does it suffice to wipe down with a wet wipe prior to feeding your baby?
So this actually is not necessary at all. So you think about your breast, it's not sterile. So your breast is not sterile, your baby's mouth is not sterile. So there's no reason why we have to wipe our breast down before we feed our baby. So you think our skin is full of healthy bacteria,
natural bacteria,
and we actually want to pass that healthy bacteria onto our baby. So there's no reason to wipe your breast down or clean your breast down before you breastfeed your baby at all.
Stay generally hygienic. Trust me, when you've got a new baby in the house, then you are.
Everything is sterilized, Michaela has a question. She says, morning, my daughter is turning 2 next week, and I've been breastfeeding since birth. I tried everything for her to leave it, but she refuses to. What can I do for her to leave the...
Is the problem with mama or the baby in a situation like this?
If we can, I mean, we want to encourage breastfeeding as long as possible, but it's all for people different. But a 2-year-old understands now, listen, we're done. If mom's done, we're done. But also we want to wait actually for the baby to wean themselves, to say, I'm ready to finish with the breast and go on to the next stage of my life. But also try to wean down on feeds and explain to baby, I'm going to feed you just in the morning when you get up and just at night when you go to bed, because that's still our special time. That's still the time that only the two of us spend together. And to let it gradually happen. Some people put, sorry Graham, some people put aloe on and some people put plasters on and say, oh, you're hurting mommy. And I mean, that could be traumatic for the poor child.
Don't manipulate your child.
No.
Yes. But I think you also have to be quite hard on yourselves. I know it's a kind of pales in insignificance, but trying to get our son off the bottle for his night feeds. We just had to do it.
Just
do it.
So it's also with toddlers, it's all about bribery and corruption as well. So you've got to, it's getting off the bottle or the breast. If you don't have this breast or if you don't have this bottle, then you're going to get a little reward in the morning, and like a star chart, or giving the bottles away. My favorite thing is like giving the bottles away to like the squirrels or the fairies, and then the squirrels or the fairies bring something in return. And it's the same for kind of the breast. And but at age 2, they definitely understand, but it's about being consistent. So if you decide that this is finished, you've got to make the decision, and you've kind of got to, you can't go back on your word, because it's confusing as well. And then getting the dad or the partner to actually kind of support the mom and just say, and kind of...
But I'd also start with it. If dad is able to feed, if you can express and you can store that milk, then dad can be involved in the feed. That can often help to transition that phase as well, would be my very uneducated way.
Experienced.
Then one last question, just very quickly. I had a runny stomach yesterday, early morning, and now my son is having runny stools, and I'm breastfeeding him. Is there a correlation?
Okay, it's important to know actually how old that child is, because lots of times we think breastfeeding stools is diarrhea, but it's actually normal. So number one, also know that mom, the breast milk produces antibodies to protect the baby. So even if the baby gets sick, he should be fine. It should not be that it shouldn't be that severe. But if the baby is at diarrhea and you're concerned, you go to a doctor because they dehydrate very quickly,
Very
quickly. Much quicker than we do. So it's important to go to a doctor.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very clever. So if a baby is sick, and the saliva, so there's a special component in the saliva of the baby. So the saliva actually mixes with the breast milk, and the breast milk actually, the mother's breast milk kind of makes the antibody specifically for that virus or the bacteria to actually protect the baby. So it's really important to carry on feeding.
The wonder of nature.
The magical breast milk, yep.
So we're going to continue this very important and really interesting as we are discovering discussion around breastfeeding, and we're going to invite some parents-to-be into the conversation as well. And earlier I saw the cutest little bubba walking around studio, so perhaps we'll introduce you to her as well. We'll see you back in a moment.
All right, now while we're used to throwing it back on a Thursday, today we are kind of changing things up a little bit by thinking about the future instead, by bringing another earth and body-friendly recipe, a super simple dish that it can be ready in a matter of minutes, and it consists of vitamin K, there's vitamin C, there's fiber, and of course the goodness of Be Well canola and olive oil blend. And we guarantee this one will pop up on your menu again and again. So introducing the charred broccoli salad with apricots, almonds, and mustard dressing. And if you think that the name is a mouthful, just wait until you actually taste it. So let's start cooking, shall we, quickly?
Okay, it's very simple to actually make.
Yeah.
I think, so don't be confused by the many ingredients that we have here. Would you like to help us with this one,
We'll
Kat?
start over here. So we've got our tender stem broccoli over here, and our aubergine that's been, our baby marrow that's been nicely cut, because we're going to grill it. So you're going to add a couple of grains of your salt in here.
Salt
Add
bay.
some pepper, of course, pepper bay if you'd like to as well. Then we're going to get some of our Be Well canola and olive oil, give that some lovely lashings in there.
This is a trick that I recently learned, actually. Apparently, if you just marinate your veggies before putting on the pan, it's much better because it prevents it from actually being smoky and burning out very easily. It's a better way of grilling your veggies, actually.
That looks very good.
Very, very
then,
good.
All right, I'll entrust you with the tongs, and there you go. You can lay the veggies onto our griddle pan over there. There we
go. Ooh, I like the sound of that.
All right, of course, while Kutla is doing that, remember that Be Well is endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa, and it carries the Cancer Smart Choice seal that you will, of course, be able to see right over there. There it is. Okay. It's also high in vitamin E and omega-3s, and it helps to lower the risk of heart disease, depression, and arthritis as well. Are you needing to turn it down?
Yeah, I think so, hey?
Here we go. Left. That's left. It's this one over here. So let's turn it heat lower without turning it
because
off.
I feel
That
like
should
I'm
be all right.
burning it, eh?
No, but we want it to be char grilled.
Yes, we do. We do want that.
All right. So SMS the keyword Be Well to 33728, and we'll send you a list of the ingredients you need, as well as a link to the recipe so that you can make this at home. It's already smelling absolutely.
It smells divine
in the kitchen.
And also, just to achieve the final product, as you can see over there, we can make our own salad dressing,
which we are about
all
to do.
We need is lemon juice. We have garlic oil. Yes, if you smell it, you can actually smell that the garlic is quite potent.
That is good.
Honey, but if you are vegan, you can replace it with maple syrup. Mustard and a little bit of salt to taste. And I think, yeah, it just adds that little pizzazz at the end of it all.
Okay, so pretty easy the ingredients are to prepare. And then we're just gonna whisk it up in here. How are you coming along with the veggies there?
Very well. They're actually cooking quite well. But obviously, you can use your own discretion depending on how well you want to cook your veggies or how grilled you want them to be. So I'm just waiting for them to give me that kind of smoky, burnt aesthetic. And then I'll just put them on our bowl over there.
Here we go. This is looking very good, the salad dressing. Very easy to prepare.
Yes.
And then I'm going to start the plating in the meantime. Can I do that?
Please do that. Please do that. I think this is a perfect dish for just a lazy day.
A lazy, yeah.
A lazy day.
Nothing too complicated.
Nothing too complicated. Very simple recipe. And also as a perfect starter, I think if you're hosting people over for some drinks
absolutely.
or whatever it may be over the weekend, you know.
Okay.
Can you see it's coming along quite nicely?
It really is. Well done.
Oh,
well
thank
done
you very much. Working very hard here.
Then we've got some beautiful apricots here. I'm going to try and kind of form layers. So that was the first layer.
I love dried apricots.
Mm.
I absolutely love it with peaches and everything,
Yeah.
and mango. I'm sure you can use something else other than dried apricots.
Yeah, I mean, for me, cranberries would be great for this.
Yes.
Maybe a bit of raisin if you want, just to kind of add a little bit of sweetness to it. Of course, you're going to get a lot of sweetness from the honey in the salad dressing as well. Let's not waste any of this. So SMS the keyword be well
like I'm
to
burning this now.
33728. Are you burning it now?
I feel like we were doing so well.
Okay, let me finish up with these and I'll give you this plate.
Yes,
so that
thank
you.
you.
Can get the rest of them on it. Bit more of these dried apricots. Get them everywhere.
This one can cook a little bit more.
And here we go.
I just
Simple as
burned
that.
myself.
And did you just burn yourself? How?
With oil. Okay, kids, don't try this at home without parental supervision, okay?
Then just drizzle some of this lovely salad dressing that you've made. Don't let any of it
that
go
looks
to waste. Make sure
good.
it gets everywhere, everywhere. That looks good. All right.
Well coated.
Simple, easy
Simple,
as you
easy.
like. I'm gonna have some of this.
Yum.
Show you that side like that. Cool. SMS BL to 33728. As simple as that.
Very quick to make as well. We're already done.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, you can get into it if you want.
Oh.
I don't know, are you all about that?
I am.
Let me
It's
turn
all
off the
about
heat.
that.
Oh, some amazing, fresh and wholesome smells coming out of the kitchen. And in our efforts to be more fresh and wholesome, we are joining the challenge. So on Thursday, that's next Thursday, the 12th of March, we're going to be talking all things speckworm. We know that it's responsible for producing more oxygen and drawing more nasty carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than just about any other plant on the planet. So we're going to be talking about how to promulgate, plant and care for your speckworm. And then, of course, asking for your guys' comments and questions relating to this wonder plant.
Absolutely. We are asking you to post pictures of how you're starting the journey, where you are with the journey. I know you said you started with 2
Oh, yeah, man. I've got
plants
2 amazing. They are
already,
so easy to look after, and I'm going to have to get a whole lot more. Why? Because the Speckworm Challenge is happening. So are you guys going to rise to the Speckworm Challenge? Send us those pictures. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. There's also people like Greta Thunberg that's helping, reduce the carbon footprint and making us more conscious about our carbon footprint. So get onto the bandwagon next week, Thursday, the 12th of March, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Look at it.
We are challenging you.
And it also looks beautiful as well. So we're going to continue our baby talk discussion. We are talking breastfeeding after the break.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, man, how does your heart not explode with joy and happiness when you hear that gorgeous little baby laugh? Maybe it'll be your baby's laugh soon. And maybe as an expectant parent or as a new parent, breastfeeding is really in focus right now. We all have completely different, and none of them are wrong, aims when it comes to breastfeeding and looking after our child, especially guys weighing into that conversation. What we want to get from that critical, very awesome first stage of your baby's life and your journey as a family. So we've invited, along with our expert panel, we've got husband Zach and wife Kelsey. Congratulations, you've got a 2.5-month-old daughter.
7 weeks old.
7 weeks, man.
Just little.
I don't know if you felt it, but I struggle to talk in weeks. I'm like, yeah, I can do months and days, but weeks I struggle with. And then we've also got Tamsin, who is at the 30-week. 7 months. You guys, congratulations to all of you in the different phases of your journey. Zach and Kelsey, I'm going to start with you. How has the journey been so far? When you hone in specifically on the breastfeeding journey, what were your expectations coming into this, and are you meeting those expectations, or have you had to adapt?
I think so. I think we've had quite an easy journey. We've been very lucky. So I think it can be really difficult, and I was anticipating a lot of hurdles, but I think we've been really lucky, and I think having Tasha help us early on, and we sort of got it right from
baby whisperer.
Yeah, from the get-go, which I think has been the trick.
And Zach, what about you? How did you get involved, making sure that, you know, Kelsey was feeling a bit more like you were there with the whole process of breastfeeding?
Yeah, so in the beginning, you definitely do just feel like you're sort of in the way. And
you're the third wheel, yeah.
Yeah, like you want to help out, but you obviously can't breastfeed. But you soon realize that it's not an excuse to not get stuck in any way. So there's always fetching things, there's always preparing things. Eventually, you may get to the stage of using bottles if you're expressing milk. And there's a lot of admin around that.
Did you guys go that route? Was that something that you wanted to be a part of?
I was very keen on that.
It was a little bit tense at some point.
Did he have a say in that?
Well, he tried.
I had to bribe Tasha on the side to give some advice.
Yeah, no, but it's such a cool thing for guys.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think he just wanted to be a part of it, and obviously it's difficult when you're with the breastfeeding, he can't. So I think it was quite difficult for him to like let go of control a little bit and just let me get on with it. But we are trying expressing in bottles, so we're kind of figuring out that, which has been, I think, more difficult than the breastfeeding, so we are taking it day
Try harder, Zach. Try harder.
I always say it's a journey and not a destination with regards to breastfeeding. I feel like women put so much pressure on themselves in the beginning. Like Tamsin, you now 30 weeks pregnant. You have these experts here at your disposal. Is there anything that you're concerned about going into the stage of breastfeeding and wanting to breastfeed? What is that journey like for you right now?
Well, obviously, you know, you read blog posts, you do your research, and, you know, you weigh your options or what's best for you. And for me, my expectation, obviously, I would love baby to latch on naturally, you know, have that beautiful mother-baby bonding experience and being able to actually produce milk and the nutrients and feed my baby on demand. But I think what scares me from what I hear from, these lovely couple over here, it would just be time, I guess, and also not being able to latch. So that challenge for me is what scares me. Not to forget the pain and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah. Shouldn't be pain.
Yes.
Shouldn't be painful. So that's the myth about breastfeeding, is that it should be painful. So if you get the right help and if the baby's latching nicely, there shouldn't be any pain at all. So the thing with breastfeeding and babies is that they're so, like, your breastfeeding journey is so unpredictable, and some babies come out knowing exactly what to do and they latch on beautifully, and some babies arrive and they get a bit confused and the mom really struggles. So it's definitely a journey that kind of the mom goes through and the babies goes through. The most important thing is to get help early. So as soon as you feel like there's an issue, you really, really have to get
You need to learn to breastfeed. You need to learn to do it. And some babies need to learn to breastfeed as well. So, but like Tasha said, if there's pain, something's not right.
Something's wrong. Speak to someone. I think the overriding kind of watchword here is speak to someone. Speak to someone and stand up for the dads, man. Give the dads a turn.
But you know what, Graham? We said before as well, the dad exists for the mom and the mom exists for the baby.
Yeah.
We must remember.
A bit louder.
Slip into that groove, man. Slip into that groove.
But it's not all about the breastfeeding. It's also about the burping and the settling. So the dads, so if we can empower the dads and the partners as well to be able to settle the babies after a feed. And the partners are like expert burpers and expert settlers. So it's not just about the feeding, it's everything that kind of comes with the changing the nappies, and that's all part of the process of breastfeeding.
And you get your masters in poo. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the couch. All the best with the next phases of your respective journeys. Just soak it up and enjoy it. As a dad who's got one and expecting another in a few weeks' time, I really know what you're going through. So enjoy it. Love every second of it, and know that if your baby isn't quite getting it right in the way that you kind of perceive according to the expectations out there, your baby isn't broken, you aren't broken. Every baby, every parent, every family is completely different. You've got to find the way that works for you.
Well, listen, we're all still trying to come down from the energy and the buzz that was the very first episode of Tropica Island of Treasure, Curacao. This on Tuesday, of course, if you missed it at 7:30 p.m. You can catch that repeat on Saturday at 8 p.m. But there is also opportunity for you to find your smooth fame and fortune with Tropica. And how you do this is by buying a Tropica, then following the entry details on the pack. And that puts you in line to win your share of 1 million rand in prizes. And there are great prizes to boot, such as a trip for 2 with KLM to Amsterdam. There are LG G8 smartphones, LG TVs and LG dishwashers, guest vouchers, there are guest watches and guest accessories. Plus, there's a smooth grand prize of a Suzuki Ignis, which could be yours. And of course, the more Tropica you buy, the more chances you have to win. T's and C's that apply can be found on the website tropica.co.za. And one more reminder that if you did miss the first episode of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao on Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m., you can catch the repeat on Saturday, the 7th of March at 8 p.m. only on SABC3. Nothing smoother.
Time just to get that boost of energy back, you know?
Appetite with this show. There's been dancing, there's been some amazingly, really informative discussions. So thank you so much for that to all of our guests. I think we've earned the right to a croissant. I can smell something. Oh, the smell's coming from this kitchen. Can I share a croissant with my good mate?
Okay. Oh, you want to share? You don't want a full one?
No, man.
You
I'm
know
all
I
about
eat a
that
lot,
sharing,
though.
girl. Doesn't show.
Okay, it's fine. We're gonna eat. We're gonna share.
And then we're going to chew through all of that celeb gossip. Some really, really interesting news breaking in the world of entertainment as Thando Tobete is making the big leap across the pond. She's going big, and I have a feeling we're going to see her in LA, and she's going to do amazing things. But we'll delve into that in just a moment. You can have the first bite.
Okay, cool. No problem. Just Princess Bentana, go full. Okay, now.
Rise and shine. There's no better way to wake up other than with Mackie D's for breakfast. Download the McDonald's app for delicious daily deals and start your day the right way.
Find yourself daydreaming of fairy tale lands, paradise beaches, and glamorous cities? With a sprinkle of magic, Travel Start is making your travel dreams come true. Their Dream Week sale is finally here. Get ready to mark your calendar from the 2nd to the 6th of March 2020 and sign up for great savings to mega cities. Chase those pinch me moments with travelstart.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So I was eating my croissant from earlier. It was a delicious croissant. Thank you, Princess. So, gents, thank you so much for joining us. After the performance, you've got to earn the right. You've got to earn it.
All right.
No, brother, first of all, where can people see you perform? How can we connect with you?
This Saturday, I know we at the James on Ice at Soweto in Orlando. And then Mshubelo. Where is it again?
In Soweto. Where?
Roadhouse in Soweto. On Sunday, we at East Rand.
So basically, you can just follow us on our social media.
Yeah,
all the info is there. It's too much to just keep up. So on Twitter, it's at Soweto's Finest. On Instagram, it's at Soweto's Finest. On Facebook, is Soweto's Finest. Well, I mean, if you've got some data, you can just Google Soweto's Finest.
No, I wanted to find out, can people download music? How can we get your music?
Our music is available on all digital platforms. Just search for Soweto's Finest, like Velek Vodre, search for Soweto's Finest. Our latest single titled Digolosh, which will be the biggest song in 2020.
You've said it.
Trust me.
You've said it, and it's going to go down. You've seen it already. What are you going to close out with now this morning?
Velek Vodre.
What's the vibe?
That simply means, yo, let's go crazy.
Oh, well
It's
then.
going down.
It's going down. Let's go crazy. Yeah.
Expresso.
That is Soweto's finest. Thank you very much, guys. What a way to start a Thursday morning.
You just did one of your fitness classes.
And I was about to say, I feel like I just worked out, but it was so much fun. Is this something that people should expect when working out with you guys?
Yes.
Amazing.
You dance, you sweat, you have fun, you might develop a little musicality.
There must be like 1,000 calories
bit of rhythm
in the past 30 seconds, for sure. But listen, thank you very much for tuning in. Have a wonderful Thursday. Make someone smile out there. See you tomorrow.
We love you.
Bye.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.